Pretty Astro, speaking all the way from South America. And yeah, how are you? How is everybody? I'm going to set uh, my phone. Bear with me. Tell me if you can hear me okay, whatever, whoever you are there. Um, yeah, I wish I have bigger footage. This is just some footage from my garden that I recorded the other day, a couple weeks ago, I think. And I just love it. It's very like wintry for here. So because I am in South America and we are in winter. So let me know, guys, you're there. I'm going to go to my PC to open my channel to see that everything is fine. YouTube. I have to log in. If you're here, I don't know how many people are here. I really don't know. I'm going to see that when I log into my account here in Chrome. Give me a sec. Hello everyone, how are you? I'm logging into my account. Sorry for the delay. Yes, I have to say I apologize for that, but something came up and you know I had to move it forward or later. I don't know how you say it. Let me get into my account to see you guys in the chat if you are there. Two people watching, okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's put that on mute. Let's open up the volume. Who is there? Hello. Hello, ACW. Hello, Debbie. Nice to see you, Debbie and ACW. Let me see if I can hear myself. See you, Debbie. And yeah, I can hear myself, so that's fine. Let's keep playing this live. I'm sorry about the delay. I don't know how much time I'm going to be here, but I have to make some announcements. Just, you know, nothing serious really. How are you? All good? Yep. So I'm waiting for people to arrive. For more people to arrive. 5 people watching now. Hi. Hello everyone. Yay. So yeah, Lucy, hello. Hello, Lucy. Let's take this out of the way. Let me see what I can do. Oh dear. I'm not very good with these things, you know. Let's open this one, which is funny. And I believe in that everything needs to be funny in some way, you know. Let me put this up. So yeah. Hello, Essex boys. Hello, beautiful, he says. Oh, Essex boys outlaw. It's my, you know, my cowboy in my mind, you know. You are like a, you know, like a punk rocker as well. I fought the law and the law won. So yeah, today is a very, very cold day here in my country in South America. And yeah, it's very cold. Very windy. We have some sun right now. It is quite sunny but very cloudy as well. So yeah, it's quite cold, you know, today. Oh, we are in the middle of the winter holidays. So if you have a family, you know what that is. You are very busy. You've got kids, you have to take care of them. You have to be there minding them or just being there just for them. Um, and, yeah, kids' holidays, right? So that's what we have here these days. Today, this week is the second week of the holidays, and it's the last one. So it was last week and this week, winter holidays here. So my kids are every day, well, almost every day here with me. So I have to mind them. So I'm very busy also with my other things. So yeah, I could, barely make this today, and I'm being quite, very frank with you guys. And that is why, because of that, of what I've said before, something came up, so I couldn't start the live on time. Okay, so let's see if anybody there. 7 people watching. That's kind of like like my average, 7-10 people. And the other day it was like 20 people in the end, which was like Unity Calling said it was like a record. Yeah, I broke the record, right? So let's see who's there on chat. Like I said, hello ACW, hello Debbie, hello Essex Boys, hello Lucy, hello Martin, hello Martin, nice to have you here. Debbie says it rains every day here so far. Well, I have seen today. I searched for like what temperature was in the UK, and it was around 19 degrees. I expect that now it's like nighttime nearly there, right? And I don't know. Maybe I remember when I stayed in England many years ago. I remember that the days, even in summer, they were like almost every day. It got cloudy, it got overcast, and it rained. Okay, but I remember that one summer, like the summer was quite different from the winter there. It was like, okay, yes, it rained, and sometimes it got it really struck my attention. It was like, even in summer, you guys can have like cold days, you know. Yeah, I don't remember that it rained so much in summer over there. What I remember, it was like a just like a, for me, it's like a lukewarm temperature, like of 20 degrees at the most. But that was like many years ago. The climate has changed, and now you guys have like almost tropical summers. Am I right? Yeah, humid. Yeah, humidity. Yeah. Yeah, Debbie, humid. Yeah, I mean, when I resided in England for a little bit in the past, I remember the humidity. Yes, and the heat was humid. Yeah, yeah. It was never like totally like dry. Like it can get here in South America. We have more like a big part of the summer is really dry, like really hot and dry. And that's the beauty of the Latin American summers, right? The downside is that it can get really hot, really hot. Maybe for you guys, and for me, it's like last summer was like there was like a heat wave, and for us, like a heat wave is like 40 degrees, even 42 degrees, and even more in some parts of the country. So it can be like really harsh, the heat. But I remember in England it was like nice, mild, but it was quite sunny. But I know as well that in all these years climate has changed for sure. So Essex Boy says, are you coming to UK again soon, Gritty? I'll pick you up from the airport on horseback. Oh my god. Oh, you're so funny. I love your lines, Essex Boys. I love your sense of humor. And You're quite charming, sir, if I may say so. I'm not. I wish I could go back because I love England. I have friends in England from my last stay. Um, I have quite a bond, natural bond with England because of many, many different things. I could get into that, but I don't know if you guys want to hear about my life. So you tell me in chat, okay? And but yeah, I mean, I wish I could. I wanted to go back with my family, because when I went there, I was like much younger, so I was freer. I had free time, so I went there on an adventure because I always wanted to go there because I have always had like a deep bond with England. Okay, so I just made my wish come true and just traveled there, like when I was younger, and I wish I could go back Essex, and but it's if I went back, it would be it had to be with my family, with my kids. So even if it is to visit, and yeah, so I want to go back with my kids. So I want my kids to know England. I know they will love it as I love it. For me, England is like a second home. To be frank with you guys, that is why I started this channel actually, because I have friends there. I've heard from the Nikki Bully case uh, right from the beginning, and I got very interested in it, like many people. So yeah, and that is why I kind of like started my channel, okay? Because I never really had like a real reason to do podcasts or whatever, but I wasn't really that interested before. But then after the Nikki Bully case, it's just like I totally got so interested in the case. It grabbed me, like it grabbed so many of you guys. And we know something's not right. We know everything is bullshit. And yeah, let's see. But yeah, my dear cowboy, my dear outlaw, Essex boys, if I do go back, it's one of my wishes, for my future and for my girls' future. I want to go with them. I want to visit. I want them to know it. And I know if I don't go with them, they are going to go by themselves if they want to when they are adults. So either way, but I wanted to show them because, I love England. It's not like I just heard from the Nikki Bully case and that's it, that is why I became interested. That is why I became interested in starting doing podcasts and lives. Okay, here it was my first time doing lives, and it was because of Nikki. Okay, but I always had like a big bond with England. Okay, so let's see. There's 7 people watching still. Hello. Lucy says, I ride horses, so I'm coming to get you too. Who is that to me? Oh no, it's not to me. You're talking. So that's your answer, Essex boys. I wish I go. I wish I go back to England to visit someday. It's one of my wishes. I already made my wish come true, but I would love to go back this time with my family. Okay. And I would like to talk to you about, why I love England so much. But, I'm not sure you guys want to hear about that. You tell me in chat. Just tell me in chat, please, what you want me to talk about, okay? Because this is one of the announcements I have to make. I'm not going to keep talking about Nikki any longer, right? Because for me, that's it. With all we have heard, with everything we have read from the case and the inquest, we know that the coroner's verdict should have been open verdict, okay? Like unknown, they don't know what happened to her, but we know there's many inconsistencies, many lies, outright lies to the public, and there are contradictions in logic, things that are not logical that they cannot happen together. So yeah, so let me guys, I want to know what you think. I'm not going to be talking about Nikki much longer because for me was like the announcement I wanted to make to you. And I don't mean to sound dramatic or be melodramatic or whatever, but maybe I'm a little dramatic because I'm a Latina. I'm from Latin America, so we tend to be a little bit dramatic, but all in good cause, all with good heart, with good intentions. Okay, I'm just being me here. So and I want you guys to tell me, what you think. But for me, as far as I am concerned, the Nikki Bully case, it's that's it. The evidence they presented, it's definitely, most definitely not conclusive of accidental death. It's wrong. It's just plain wrong. And many people think like I do. So yeah, I mean, what is there more to talk about when you reach that conclusion? With reason, with logic, seeing what you have in front of you, right? Just not while, like they want to tell us, that they want to tell us that we are just doing wild conspiracy theories and wild speculation. Yeah, I mean, lots of people have done that. Lots of people have done wild conspiracy theories and wild accusations and wild speculation. That's true. But, some of us have really got into the meat of the case and into the evidence, especially after the inquest, because then it's official what they think, okay? So, yeah, I mean, what more is there to say? Do you get my drift? So I'm going to see 6 people watching, so 1 went away, okay? Let's see. Hello, Benjamin Savage. Not sure if you're still there with us. Summers were mediocre a few years ago, and it will get gold sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's what I experienced it when I was there. So, but now it's like you guys have like really hot summers as well, like 30 degrees, and Benjamin says it all evens out in the end. Well, yeah, in life everything evens out in the end, right? And it may sound like a little bit of dark humor. Debbie says, "Don't go Blackpool, Lancaster, greedy." Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. If I go back to England, I'm not going to go to Lancaster or Blackpool or Lancashire. Maybe I will if I mean they seem to have like nice spots, but I mean there are other very nice spots in England. So yeah, but I mean the Lancashire Constabulary is like, and the Lancashire County, I mean it's just after the Nikki Bully thing, it's just I wouldn't go there because I don't want to happen anything to me there and then the police cover it up. Yeah, no thank you. And I don't want to be eaten up by these guys. If you see the picture here that I have, I don't want to be eaten up by this kind of guys. So no offense, but yeah, I'm not planning to go to Lancashire. Yeah. Lucy says, I ride horses, so I'm coming to get you too. Oh, that's to Essex Boys. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. For whom? I don't know if you're talking between yourselves. ACW says Lancashire Constabulary don't get many prosecutions. Well, what should that be? Because maybe they are like, they don't. You know what I think? You know what I have kind of concluded? That the Lancashire Constabulary, they just don't give a shit. It's just. I was watching I am currently watching, like, I love the League of Gentlemen. If you see this picture, I love the comedic troupe, and I've started watching. I had never watched it, and I discovered discovered it the other day, and it's called Insider Number 9, and it's really good. I mean, like most of it is really good, and yeah, I mean, you know how the police there are like creepy and they don't want to bother, and you know in the Royston base it's like the police can't be bothered, they are useless, they are corrupt. That's what I think, you know. One of my conclusions is that I don't know why, but that constabulary seems to be, if she's telling me here, ACWs is telling me that Lancashire Constabulary don't get many prosecutions. Is well, and there is lots of crime there. It seems, I mean, it's all in the papers, you know, the drug bust and all that, and in the drugs, right, and the violence and the deaths, the unexplained deaths. It's like no thank you, you know. And the police there seem to be like Royston Basie kind of police, or like the Simpsons kind of police. Like they don't seem to really want to bother. So that's what I think, you know. That's what I kind of concluded with the police side of things, because yeah, I mean, it either, like I said before, it was like the police are covering it up because of some secret occult thing, or maybe they're just covering it up because they were so wrong the first time, and then all the public opinion was on them, against them, so they had to stick to their narrative, and now they can't go backwards because, as you know, police never really says I'm sorry. They always say some like you know, like tribe, you know, like they say, oh, lessons learned, and we're going to do better the next time. And it's so bullshit. It's like I said before in other podcasts, they are corporate suits. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the Lancashire Constabulary, I'm just talking about them, they don't seem to bother, you know. They don't want to know. They just don't want to. I don't know why. Maybe they are corrupt for many years now, decades, who knows. So they just, you know, when there is corrupt police, they just don't bother, really. But they are very good when they are being fascist, you know, when they are repressing the public and going against the public. When the government or the police or government entities start going against the public, you know that they are corrupt, because the police, the government, they are all to serve us and protect us. They're not to say lessons learned. You know, they're not there to bash the public, because the public is the one funding them. Okay, so yes, it's so bad. But let's see. There's just 5 people watching now, so yeah, I'm not going into the Nikki Bully case straight away. Because like I said, it was kind of the announcement, so yeah. Yep. Essex Boy says, I love the South American attitude to life, and people are awesome. Yes, we'd love to hear about you, Gritty. Oh, yeah, thank you, Essex Boys. I hope it isn't just you. I mean, although I love your attention. But, you know, yeah, I also want to hear from the other people. I mean, I have just 6 people watching now, so it's not like a big number. You know, now it's 7, you know, it's like 7, 5, 7, 8. Let's see. Debbie Langton says, BBC Chimmy Sabo, shocking, TV license shocking. Yeah, I mean, and I learned the other day about the current brand new BBC scandal, and I don't want to seem like a bigot, or I don't want to seem like I know it all. I don't know like anything at all, but I do know just some things. I don't mean to say that the BBC is like, oh, this hugely bad thing, because I'm not English. I do not live there, but I lived there long enough to learn a few things. And I also, because I have friends, like I said, over there, and because I read, you know, the news from England, because, like I said, I have a connection to England. So I've heard about the latest BBC scandal about this guy who was caught, or was the mother of this person, this boy, this man, went to the papers because the BBC wouldn't hear from her, wouldn't do anything about her plight. Apparently, her child, when he was 17, he started having like a commercial or like a transactional sexual relationship with a big BBC presenter, like a male presenter. And yeah, I mean, and this presenter gave him lots of money, and the boy would send him like sexual pictures, and apparently this guy would send the boy sexual pictures of him as well. And apparently all the money exchanged amounts to £35,000. And this is from 3 years ago. Apparently started like when he was 17, and now apparently he's 20, 21, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, it's like so disgusting. I mean, I can't believe people are still doing that. But people, there is evil in this world. There is like degeneracy in this world, and we can see it with the powers that be. Most of the people that I know that do these kind of disgusting things. I don't know why there are so many people that are in power who do these things, but maybe it's just a human thing, just being just nasty. Some people are really nasty. But the thing is, it's like the BBC, it's like they want to cover it up because they're not saying the name. As far as I know, up till now, they're not saying the name of the guy, although I already know who is he, because everybody knows who is he now. Yeah, and you have seen that picture of him floating around, showing his ass. I mean, on camera, it's disgusting. I mean, that a top media presenter like BBC, no less, it's like the governmental media, right? And he's just showing his arse to like a minor. It's just incredible. It's just, and at the same time, it's like it reminds me of the League of Gentlemen. It's like that people can be really dark, and just abuse their power, but yeah. So Jimmy Savile, shocking. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, for example, here in my country, we found these people like what here would be, the BBC, which here is really much poorer than there, but yeah, we found them, but not by a license fee, but in our common taxes to the government, right? So there's no way to take him away. Martin says, we can only hope new evidence and emergence or someone talks. Otherwise, the Nikki case will be shelved. Well, I think the Nikki case has to be shelved as far as the police are concerned. They have shelved it. The coroner has shelved it. It's done. I mean, the only ones who are going to unshelve it, it's the people, like the members of the public who are like, we are going to always be interested by this case, and maybe someone, and I'm sure, because I know people know something. I'm sure people from that town, that village, St. Michael's, they know what happened. I'm sure there are people that the family, some people that know what really happened, and yeah, I mean, unless someone talks in the future or something is found because someone is investigating, otherwise it just won't get unshelved. It will be actually shelved by the police, because the only one who can change this is the police, right? The police is the one who can say, okay, or maybe a judge could order the police to reopen the case. But I mean, there has to happen something big, a big discovery. Someone talks, or there's this huge petition. I mean, I have signed the petition for Nikki's case to be re-examined, but I'm not sure that does much, in reality. But I tried. But it's like the Madeleine McCann case. I mean, it's not like it, like 100% obviously, but it's very much like that. It's like a case that it seems like it will never be solved. And how many years has passed since the Madeleine McCann case, right? 2005 was it? So almost 20 years, and nothing happened. And yeah, and something, someone knows something, and everything is quite shady in that case too. But I never delved into that case personally, so I don't know all the details. I'm not like I'm an investigator of that case, but I was and I am uh, very interested in the Nicola Bully case. Okay, but it seems, yeah, it feels like it's going to be one of those like forever cases that they're going to go cold. There is evidence that other cases that had gone cold and the police had shot them and say, case, there's no case here, whatever, or they have said nothing, there's no third party, whatever, and then decades afterwards, someone found some evidence and the case reemerged, and the police had to pick it up again, and they have discovered that there was foul play after all. So it can happen. That's all we can, wish for now, yeah. So 7 people watching, yay, my 7. Um yeah. uh who Okay, so I have many comments. Hello, Unity. Hello, Unity. Unity calling. Hello, how are you, Unity? I hope you're fine. Thank you for being here. Yeah, that guy. And let's see, Martin. Yeah, so that's my answer to Martin. Yep. BBC, nothing to see here. It seems to be like their modus operandi. It's like the way they operate. These people with power, with you know, they think they're it's like the untouchables. They can't be touched or whatever because they held high ranks in power. Either in the police, in the government, in the BBC. It is like that. And they're very shady. The BBC seems to be very, very wanting to just not talk about the case. I wonder why. But who knows. David says, I have no faith in police and the Met corrupt. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure all police are corrupt, but it's a very vulnerable branch of the government. They are very prone to be bribed, the police are. So yeah, it's like the politicians. But now with all the drug lords and everything, there are many drug lords now and narcos over there. I mean, before it was just here in Latin America, but now it's in, over there as well. There are like these drug empires, and you're like, wow. So when those drug lords appear in a country, then the police becomes even more corruptible and more vulnerable to corruption, because these drug lords, they have lots of money, to spend around, to buy the police, to buy some bent policemen. And yeah, that's the reality. So I'm not really not surprised that the police there in that particularly, maybe it's because the geography, the Lancashire Constabulary is right next to the ports on the Atlantic side. That could be a reason, right? And that is why it's become so like useless and corrupt, and it's like shady and covering things up, and they muddy the waters, on purpose. So yeah, and the BBC, yeah, it's like they are acting like, it's not like a public office should act, but yeah, it's the times we live in, right? So 6 people watching. But it's all right, it's all fine. ACW says, I hoped there was a backstory by which that DCI was brought in to replace Sally Riley, but clearly not. Yeah, they never explained why Sally Riley had to be replaced. They never said why, really, did they? So maybe because this Becky Smith, she's more comfortable. She has more the experience, the gravitas, whatever, to hold this charade in a better way. Maybe Sally was, I don't know, like weaker in that way. I don't know. She didn't have the perceived authority to bring out and keep the narrative going, the official narrative going. Yeah, so you catch my drift, right? Yeah. So he actually was doing the coronation. Really, Debbie? Oh my God, that guy, the BBC guy, the perv, the pedo, the nuns. Oh dear. So that guy was doing the Queen's coronation. So what that I'm not, I don't watch the Queen things, not normally. So I didn't watch the coronation. But did he cover the coronation, Debbie? Oh dear. I mean, it's really like a League of Gentlemen episode. It really is. And so yeah. Let's see, people. Who are you? ACW says maybe Sally Riley woke up and realized it couldn't be a case of just one hypothesis. Yeah, exactly. Maybe Sally Riley saw the light. Maybe she thought, there's something really weird here now, and she couldn't carry the official narrative in such a blunt way as Becky Smith, could. I see her like, that is the kind of policewoman who, or police person that is very capable. She's expert in covert operations. So yeah, I mean, she has to have that poker face, and that pruny face, right, where you can't really read. I mean, I could read her. I could read Becky Smith, not completely, because I didn't watch that many things of her. I mean, but I did watch enough to read her. And the first word that came to me when I saw her was arrogance that comes from power, from, she belongs to a certain club, the club of people who cover up for each other, who make each other favors, and that's not, for me, it's not a good look in the police. Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. I think Sally Riley wasn't she didn't have maybe she didn't want to go with the official narrative no more. That's a good point, actually. ACW, that's a quite good point you're making. It's very possible. It's very possible. It makes sense. It's not like an outlandish claim. It's very probable. I mean, it adds up. It computes the fact that they had to replace Sally Riley with this poker face woman. She's like the queen bee. I see Becky Smith. I always saw her as arrogant, and also, like this queen bee. Like she seems to be very dominant. Yeah. And of course, they had to put a woman because it's a woman's case. A woman is missing, so we are sensitive. We're putting a woman on charge, which is a good idea. Too bad the woman they put in charge is just a disaster. But yeah, there you go. Hello. Oh, so I'm now up to 8 people watching. Hello, 8. The hateful 8. No, you're not. Oh, now it's 7. It's like it comes up, it comes down, it comes up, it comes down. It's like a seesaw, something like that. It's like a helter skelter, going up, going down. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that Sally Riley was replaced by this queen bee of Becky. Yeah, so you're right, ACW. You are making a quite very good point. And Essex Boys, quite a lot of attention around the Fitbit still, and what information might be held but not released. It gives a heartbeat, then would give location, GPS. Some things we won't ever be told. Yes, I have in my Twitter. I don't tweet very much, but I've been tweeting, screenshots with words, phrases highlighted. And yeah, the Fitbit thing is a huge thing. I'm sure they have much more information because I have read on Fitbit outside from the official narrative, on uh, websites where there are professionals who use Fitbit, and also the Fitbit company, people that have been investigating that side of the Nikki Bully case, have been investigating the Fitbit company, and, they have different data from what the police are saying. So for sure, I think that the police have much more data from the Fitbit that is not being released, and it won't ever be released unless the case is reopened you know, for some miracle, because of some miracle. So yeah, the Fitbit, it's like really, really important here. Hello, Scarlett Spear. Hey, critic Scarlett, nice to have you here. Today I'm not going to read from the inquest. I'm just talking about Nikki in general, because I have to make again the tiny announcement. I'm not going to be reading from it anymore because I've read from it the last part, and it was just more lies. I mean, and I think that with what I have gleaned, I know that the case should be had been open verdict and not accidental death. Okay, and the police is not bothering. They are never going to bother again unless someone talks, yes, or brings some hard evidence. So, uh, as far as I am concerned, my official Nikki Bully case is concluded. Like, for me, it's like, yes, there's enough information now here in my channel and other people's channels to know for sure that that was the wrong verdict, and that the police were truly appallingly incompetent, or worse, corrupt. So I'm just talking about, in general, I just mentioned the BBC scandal and how the ones those in power are very prone to corruption, and the police is very prone to corruption, especially nowadays. What with the new narcos and drug lords everywhere now in the world, it's not just South America or I don't know, Russia is everywhere. Okay, so let's see. Debbie, it's a girl. Oh, is it a girl? I didn't know the BBC victim. I thought it was a boy. I, that's interesting because I thought the mother had said he. She referred him as a he. Maybe I'm wrong. So, yeah, so now you guys are chatting in between yourselves. Martin said it's amazing how many high-up celebrities are involved in nefarious activities and protected. Yes, I mean, there are lots of people who are involved in nefarious activities, not just those in power. There's lots of degenerates in the world. But because of the globalism and the internet, it's more clear to see these guys, and if the people in power, in powerful positions, because they have power and money and contacts, like they have important contacts, they can get away with it, and but I find it really shameful. It's double shame. One, you are a you're a pervert, you're a nonce, you're a pedophile, and second, you're holding like an important, job for the BBC. I mean, aren't you ashamed of yourself? It's like double shame. I mean, these people, he should like crawl, I mean, and they should name him. They definitely should say, this is the guy. I mean, we already know who the guy is. But yeah, it's like, ooh, it's not been officially said, so yeah, whatever. But yes, but it's double shame for those guys in power. Like the BBC guy and the police. The police, double, triple shame is worse, because the police are supposed to be protecting the public, and they do not protect the public, especially not the Lancashire police. And let's see. ACW says, Gritty Astro, stick with it. Quite sure others will come along in due course. Yeah, I'm sticking with it in the sense that I'm not. If something else comes up, or I just go, oh, I want to talk about the case today. I want to talk about this and this. I will do it in the future. But as far as just talking just about this case, I have. I have made my conclusion today after reading again, because I read it, the parts that I hadn't read on the live, and this was the second inquest, the second day. So and I just read Paul, and the parents, and then the conclusions, and they're all bullshit, because um, I reached my conclusion, you know from the live before. In the live before, it's like, okay, that's it. The Fitbit, the Screams Heard, Penny Lane and Co., all the obfuscations of the truth. I'm sorry, just that's my conclusion. There is nothing more to talk about regarding the like the old data that we have now, like the inquest, everything else. I mean, if one day I come up with something, I will talk about it, or if I have a new insight about the case, or just because I want to talk about the case, I will do. I mean, I will never forget about the case. I signed the petition, for God's sakes, but I mean, there's so much one can do about it, and but I'm not forgetting about it, and I'm not saying I'm never going to talk about Nikki Bully again. That's not it, It's just that I have reached my conclusion, my personal conclusion. And yeah, maybe I will tweet a tweet sometimes, but as far as making lives to talk about just Nikki Bully case, and it's not about Nikki, I have Nikki in my heart forever, and I created the hashtag I am Nikki, and I hope you guys use it. And we are all Nikki in a way. We don't want something to happen to us and the police covering it up, right? And my partner covering it up, right? And my family covering it up, right? And the media and the government like slanging the public, right? No. So yeah. So it's like what happened to Nikki is like something that could happen to any one of us, anywhere in the world. And if you have a corrupt police force, and if you have bad friends and bad partners and bad neighbors, it could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. So yeah, we are all Nikki in a way. 9 people watching. Hello, 9. 9, oh, 9, it reminds me of the great, I really recommend it. Inside Number 9 is a TV show from the League of Gentlemen. Is from Stephen Pemberton and Reese Shearsmith, I think, and they are amazing. I love their humor. They are just so good. I really recommend it if you like dark humor and I'm really witty, clever comedy / drama. Who owns the barge? Let's see what the people are saying. Nicola Ray still missing. Yeah. Hello, Martin. I think Welsh in Hugh. Yeah. Hugh is it? Yeah, I mean, that was funny as well, the way people made fun about the name of the guy of the BBC. Who is it? I mean, what a shame, right? TV license pays for this. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Hello, Martin. Gritiastro, stick with it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. I don't, you know, just, but I have made my conclusion, I think. Um, so yeah, you signed the petition, Deborah. Yeah, I'm so glad you did. I think people should, sign the petition. There's a petition for Nicola Bully's case to be re-examined by the police. So yeah, I mean that's something that is wholesome, that is good. You never know what can happen if enough people sign. Just sign the petition, okay? I will look for it because I can't now because I'm doing the live from my phone. I can't do it now, but I'm going to get the link for the petition and I will post it later. Or if someone has the link now and wants to post it on the chat, just do it, okay? Yeah, Martin, you signed. Yeah, good for you, Martin. Yeah, we all need to sign. I mean, all of us who know there should have been another verdict, that this case needs to be re-examined, properly investigated. Sign the petition, okay? It's you can look for it online. I will look for the petition that I signed, and I'm going to later copy and paste the link, okay, on my description, the description of this live. So yeah. Um, okay. Yes, we're almost there. 5,000. Yeah, Deborah. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I mean, and I think it's because, the petition hasn't been broadcasted that much because it's mostly in groups, within the groups, I think. But yeah, maybe I will also tweet the petition on Twitter. And yeah, I mean, just so maybe one other person will see it and will sign it, that will be worthwhile, right? Yep, good. Debbie, you signed, great. Martin, so did I, but the photo shows otherwise. ACW, okay. Oh, so you're speaking about the petition, yeah. So it's very important, I think, like also like tribute to Nikki, to sign that petition, to spread it, okay, so other people can see it, yeah. And who knows, you never know. Nothing will happen if you don't do anything, but if you do something, no matter how tiny, you will get something, possibly. So yeah, it's better to do something, no matter how tiny it is, than to do nothing, right? Yeah. So 9 people. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing this live, because I have concluded my until I can do it better, because I had some material, but it has to be done in another format, and I'm not able to do that. So because I can only broadcast from my phone right now, so but that's it. It doesn't matter. When I can, if I can, I will do it. I will do those podcasts that I wanted to do. They're going to be lives probably, but that's going to be when and if I get more capabilities, okay? And yeah. The photos all over the internet with blurred out face. Oh, the photo of the guy. Let me see if I can. Nicola Bully. Nicola Bully petition. Yeah, I'm going to look for it now. Yeah, justice for Nicola. I think it's this. Yeah, I mean, it's almost at 5,000. Yep. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it. Let's see if there's another one. There's another one in change.org that is another one. Find Nicola Bully, but this was, they already found her. So yeah, this was on 16th of February. Oh my God. I mean, this was started 3 days before she was found. So this is not it. Poor Nicola. So I'm going to paste the petition here on chat, and you can just go from there. Yeah, there's the petition website. You can go and you can copy it and paste it, and just send it to your friends, whatever. So that would be a great thing to do. So this is like a conclusion live about Nikki, not about her. I'm not giving up on her, but I'm not going to talk about her anymore, about her case, not unless I have like new evidence, or I have a new insight, or I just I want to talk about her case, because I have reached my final conclusion about this wasn't about finding the whole truth, because we knew, I mean, we're not going to find it overnight, but it was about explaining how the official narrative, especially including the inquest results, the narrative is wrong. It needs to be reopened, the case. It actually needs reopening and doing a full investigation, okay? And they need to be transparent. They need to, that is why they need to open the case again, because they need to open it with different police, okay? Maybe a different, I don't know how you say it, a different, I don't know how you say it. It's like a different police post in Lancashire, or maybe the Met Police, I don't know, but another force of the police needs to reopen this with fresh eyes and with honor and with honesty, okay? So that's what it needs to be done, okay? But as far as speaking about the case, for me, I because I've reached my conclusion, and I don't like to keep on speculating unless something new comes to light, After all the lies I have done regarding the inquest and Nikki Bully before that, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say for now. So, I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm not sure really, because I started this channel because of Nikki, okay? So, yeah, what do? I don't know what to do, okay? But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit and to make that announcement, okay? I'm going to keep uploading shorts because I love making shorts. It's like a kind of nice thing, creative outlet. And I love the lives, but it's like, what do you guys want me to talk about? If you want me to talk about other cases, other things, just tell me so. And I don't know, but tell us your life story, Greedy Martin. Oh, Martin, you're so great, Martin. Martin is one of my first, I think, subscribers. Is that the word? And he helped me. He's a great guy. You're a great guy, Martin. And I really appreciate, your communications and your help, your encouragement. But, my life story, it's like, wouldn't that be just like self-aggrandizing? I don't know. I could talk, I already talked about that I resided in the UK many, many years ago, and but I have like a deep connection with England. It started with when I was a child. My father, um, my parents raised me up listening to Beatles LPs, uh, Led Zeppelin. Oh dear, yeah, just British rock and roll, and also some American bands. And yeah, but to rock, they exposed me to to British music and rock and roll and all that, and especially for me, especially the band that really made an impact on me from childhood was the Beatles, because that's what my parents listened, especially my father. He's the one who is a fanatic, and he passed on to me my love for music. So, and because many members of my family are musicians, so yeah, we have like this deep musical connection. And the Beatles, for me, was the first one that really made an impact since I was a baby, literally. So the love for England started there, because from there it was the Beatles, and then it was other bands. It was Led Zeppelin, the classics, right? Um, Pink Floyd, which is one of my favorite bands ever. Uh, Jethro Tull. Yes, I love prog rock. I really like prog rock. King Crimson. I love Sid Barrett. I like the psychedelic side of things as well. And you know, England and Britain, UK has really one of the best, if not the best, rock and roll and bands in the world. So yeah, I really admire the UK's music. Yeah, it's like you are the Mozarts of pop and rock, I think. So yeah, so it started there, Martin. Um, so my life has always been marked by music, and also by the other side, which is the more mystical, occult side, because that I get from my great grandma. She was a native Indian American from here, South American native, and she was like just to say a word, she was like the village witch or witch doctor. I mean, I don't like those names, not particularly, because they have negative connotations, but that's just society, isn't it? Society as a whole that doesn't understand really some topics. And so I have these two big things in my life: is creativity, music, and the occult. Okay, so the spiritual, mystical side that I literally get from my great grandmother Irene. Okay. Yeah, ACW, Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, it's all good. Yeah, I love those bands. I love many bands. I don't know how many of you guys are into that kind of music. Um, if you are into that kind of music, uh, then I could just speak about music. I also like art. I love art. I am since early childhood. I have always had like a keen love for everything artistic. I like to draw. I like to paint. I like to write. I have written quite a few short stories. I have been in a local magazine, whatever, all that and all that jazz, But I love art, like painting, sculpture, poetry. I love reading books, I love literature. I love history. I love all things that are creative, expressive, and things that are, more the other side, the occult side, the investigative side. When you investigate to find something, the truth, or, you know, I love doing that. Yeah, so, but everything that is creative, okay, and artistic and occult. I love the occult. I have those two main sides to my interests. Um, yeah, so the occult, I am a tarot reader, among other things. I have been for 10 years. And, if you have listened to me, you know, since all these few months that I have been here, I don't do live tarot readings. If you would like that from me, maybe I will do it, but I'm not a fan of. I'm not like those channels that are doing like live tarot readings for any topic and subject, because I am a professional tarot reader. I have clients, so I have established clients. I have been doing this for 10 years. It's one of the things that I love doing, because it's something that I take from my great grandmother, and that gift, as Jason Rothwell will say, it's not a gift. Well, it is a gift. It is a gift, and yeah, Um, so I'm very keen on seeing. I have a keen sight, how you say, like a keen perception of people. I perceive people beyond what they're telling me. I mean, always see beyond what people are telling me, and I see like the truth behind them, or I can see when they are hiding something, or and for example, in tarot, it comes to life, most of the time. That hidden truth comes to light on the table, so that is why, um, I know I have that gift, and it's a great gift, because I help people with it, and I take it seriously. But it's not like, oh, I am a serious person. No, but I take it seriously, as in, I have clients. I love doing it. Um, it is a gift. It's an actual thing, and I know lots of people do not believe in those things, and that's fine, guys. But for those people that are interested in the occult, in the things that are not, uh, you know, well, tarot has become mainstream, but I don't think that's really has nothing to do with the real art of tarot reading. So I'm not sure I will be one of those tarot readers who make like every day they make a live, making readings, because I find that to me personally, I don't find that very professional. Do you know what I mean? So if you're interested in tarot, just tell me. Oh yes, we want you to talk about tarot. We want you to talk about this and that. Just tell me, guys, because I have concluded my Nicola Bully officially, official lives. So I'm going to be waffling about whatever you guys. If you guys give me ideas and I like those ideas, I might take you up on them. Or I don't know, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this channel, okay? Because it started with Nikki, okay, and now it's concluded for me. Not Nikki, no, Nikki is not concluded, but the official, you know, talking about the case, every day and whatever, because I have reached my conclusion, yeah. And I tell you guys, talking is thirsty work. Yeah, it really it really it takes energy out of you, And I'm not complaining. I have been loving doing these lives with you guys. I have loving, just the connection that we have established, whatever that is. But yeah, I mean, are you guys actually interested in listening to things I have to say apart from Nikki Bully, okay? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? With being or attempting to make a YouTube channel, there has to be people wanted to listen to you, okay? This was quite impromptu for me. It really was, because started with the Nikki Bully case. That started the fire of YouTubing for me, like officially, okay? And and I really started liking. It was like a, I realized that it is a passion for me. It's like a new creative thing for me to do, and I love doing things like doing all things creative. Okay, so yeah, I mean, and let's see if people are here still. Maybe I'm just babbling to myself at this point, and into oblivion. But yeah, I mean that's fine as well, right? Because everything's fine. I mean, it's like have you seen The Wire? I love the show The Wire. It's a classic cop show from the U.S. But there's the main guy is a British guy, Dominic West, and I love that series. I've seen it like 3 times now, and I was a late bloomer. I mean, I discovered it like later in life because this series has like 20. It was made 20 years ago or even more, I think. 2002, I think. And yeah, but I love that. And one of the guys in the show, one of the gangsters, they used to go, ain't no thing, like, ain't no thing, like, it's nothing, okay, it's all right. And I love that phrase from there, from the show. And that's a very good show. If you haven't seen it, The Wire, I really recommend it for you. If you like it gritty, I love all things gritty. That is why I call this channel Gritty. And yeah, it's a very gritty show, and it's very well done. It's really good. Um, Essex Boys Outlaw says, if you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, girl, baby, please don't go. Oh my god, you're a true romantic, aren't you, Essex Boys Outlaw? You're a true romantic, a true romantic. You know, appreciate romance. You know why? Because I am a Latina, I am from Latin America, and we love romance. I love the beauty of romance, of romantic things, but I'm not that romantic, okay? Um, but yeah, I tend to be a little bit dramatic, but that's just my Latin blood. We have like hot blood, and we're hot blooded. That's for sure. So we love uh, the romantic lines. Uh, Especially from USX boys. If you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Who was that? Ooh, girl, baby, please don't go. Oh, who was that? I love that song. I mean, it's a great song. Actually, it's a great ballad. I appreciate a good 80s, 70s ballad. So thank you for that precious line, Essex Boys. That's fine. I mean, you're funny. Martin says, yes, all readings are the interpretation of intuitive signals, both art and mind, I think. Yes, Martin. For me, I mean, just let me give you some background. I have been doing this for 10 years now, 10 strong years. It just came to me. I mean, I've always like dwelled into the occult because that's just a natural part of me since forever, since the childhood, and I believe it was a genetic thing. It is. It was passed on me by my great grandmother Irene, and she was a Native American from here, so from South America. So yeah, and she was very well known in her village, and she was persecuted by the doctors, like the medical doctors, and they wanted to shut her down because it was taboo. You can't be a witch doctor here. It was like kind of like like a inquisition, but without killing somebody, without the murder part. But it was quite like a bit of an inquisition to my great granny, Irene. But she even she appeared on the local papers and all because of that thing that and people loved her. She was a saint. She would cure people. Like she had, because she was like what you call a witch doctor, whatever that is. It's just words. She was someone who had a gift for healing to, and she also had like oh dear, how do you say it? Oh dear, she had what you call like oh my god, it's, English is not my first language, as you know, so sometimes I'm lost for words, literally. But she could do things, that were like creepy, like magical. There were, uh, it was also in the local papers when they made this article about her, that she actually, and I have heard this from my own family, my uncle, my mother. And she used to like, for example, if a huge storm was coming, she would like, with a knife, she would get a knife, and she would like make a say a prayer, because she was a deep Catholic. She would say a prayer, like a shouting, shouting, "I command you," blah blah blah, and she would like slash the sky, metaphorically speaking, with her arm, with her hand. He would slash the sky open with her knife. I mean, I wasn't, I didn't see it with my own eyes, because she died shortly before I was born. So, but my mama, my uncle, and the papers, and all the other people that came to her uh, for healing, to also she, the farmers who would come to her, would go to her for, and they will ask her to please bless the harvest. It's very, uh, it's very magical. It's very, for me, it's fascinating, and I love that I have that, that history in my blood, and I know that my great granny was, a really, really good person. My mother told me so. She would spend her childhood years, the summers at my grandmother's, great grandmother's, and she will tell me. Then afterwards, she told me about all these things. My uncle too. And yeah, so my great grandmother Irene, she was something else. She was really, really. She had like some gift, something that cannot be explained by reason. Okay, so let's see, 7 people watching. So that means that what I'm waffling about interests you, I assume. And Martin says, yeah. So tarot, going back to tarot, Deborah, don't end the channel, Gritty, please. I don't want to end it, Deborah. I don't. It's not my intention. It's not like, oh, this is the end. I stopped talking about Nikki, and I'm going. This is over. And I'm going. I'm not that dramatic. There have been some YouTubers who have done that. Who went on all on about Nikki, and then they just, oh, nobody loves me. I'm going to shut this channel. They shut their channel. They just shut their channel. I'm not planning to do that, as long as I have an audience, because I'm not going to be waffling, babbling to the void. I could do it, but I mean, why would I do it? Why would it be? Wouldn't be that fun without an audience. And I would look, quite crazy, to be sincere. To be frank with you. Insight, empathy. Essex Boy says, I never believed much in the supernatural, paranormal. Yeah, paranormal. That's the supernatural. Yeah, that was the word to describe what my great grandmother used to do. Supernatural. She had some supernatural powers, so to speak. And Essex says, but open to this. 2 years ago or so, my first ghost spirit, we definitely have more than 5 senses. Definitely, Essex Boys, Outlaw, we definitely do. I testify to that. There are lots of people who want to bash the occult community or the supernatural community, wherever. But you believe me or you don't believe me. It's up to you. But I have been doing tarot readings for 10 years, and I believe you me, there's something weird out there, There is more to this. There is more, like you say, Essex, there are more than the five senses, definitely. Um, I, I like to see it as an extra antenna, that I have in my mind or whatever, and that I can pick up on something, some things that, other people cannot, It's just like any other talent, Some people are good at mathematics, some people are good studying engineering, whatever. I am good at that, and, like I said, I love art. I love writing, drawing. I have a very artistic side, and I love talking to you guys, It's a newfound passion for me to talk to you guys, and, I don't plan to shut down my channel, but I don't know what I'm going to do now yet, because um, I need to establish that I have a minimum audience, and that you guys like just hear me waffle about anything, um, I don't want this channel also, because I have realized I don't want this channel just to be about true crime. I love true crime, I really do, but I don't want just to be just just going on about true crime all the time, because uh, although I like true crime, I'm not just about that, and I'm not the kind of person that says, okay, also true crime really is good for audience, people love true crime, so I'm going to make a true crime channel. And some people can are able to do that, and that's great, obviously they have that talent, because they actually don't mind speaking about true crime all the time. I mind, I cannot speak about true crime all the time, and also because I don't like being scripted. I do like talking about things that I know about, but I don't like scripted things, unless I am reading about something I like, like I have done in other podcasts that have nothing to do with Nikki. So yeah, this is like I'm trying. It's like, when you buy a dress and you try it on, but you still keeping the labels, just in case, because I have reached my conclusion on the Nikki Bully inquest, I thought to myself, oh, what I'm going to talk about now. I mean, will the people that were interested in this so far, will they be interested in what I have to say? I don't know. I don't know, and so I need to have at least a minimum of people from you guys, a minimum of you that are going to, be there listening, to whatever I have to say. I could talk about many topics, because I'm always, like I said before, I am a seeker. I seek, I seek, I like seeking things, like information. I like investigating. I'm very curious about many topics, just because it makes me happy, and I've discovered, thanks to you guys, that I like talking about those topics. But those topics are not going to be uh, fully Nikki Bully related. Okay, so. Regarding the tarot, I was saying that there are YouTubers who only do, like, all the time are making tarot readings. Especially, if you, during this case, in this Nikki Bully case, I've seen so many channels pop up just making readings all the time, like psychic readings and whatnot. And I mean, maybe that maybe that's their destiny, their fate, their talent. But me personally, I don't think it's very professional, because from my point of view, you shouldn't dwell doing that all the time, because first, okay, when you are doing a reading about like, say, Nicola Bully, okay, and there have been so many channels doing readings all the time about all the tiniest details, psychic readings and spirit boxing and all that, it just feels that it muddies the waters. Uh, it just feels like, for me, it would feel like, it's not something you want to dwell just because, I do it professionally, and I'm serious about what I do, and I have results. But for example, I thought, before, like some time ago, I think before or just after she was found, Nikki, about doing reading and uploading it, and I actually did it. But then I thought, I really don't want to do this because it's kind of like, it's not professional for me, but it's from my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I am wrong. And because, when you do a reading about a case, for example, you have when you do a reading, if you know a lot about the case or about the person, you know it can skew your perception, and you're biased. Okay, you can become biased because you have too much information about a case, about whatever, whoever, a dead person, I don't know. So if you do it all the time, you can become biased, and that is why I don't find it too reliable. But I'm not saying that there aren't people who actually have the talent to do that. But from what I've seen, it's just it's not too professional. Uh, they are biased, and I don't like being biased, especially not regarding something that I take it professionally, that I do it professionally. It wouldn't be professional to me. Six thumb and support your channel with one love. Liso French. Hi, Liso. I never saw you in chat, so I welcome you, Liso French. Martin says, oh, ACW says, I really believe you have much to give on the tarot front. An interpretation of a deck would be great. Oh, thank you, ACW. So maybe, yeah, I would like doing that. Yeah. I mean, I like doing things like that, explaining things that I know about. That would be nice. And I will be talking about something that I love, which is tarot, and occult things, like symbolism, all that, mystical things. Yeah. So that's a good idea. Thank you, ACW, if you're listening. Essex says, when I was little, I used to have a lot of premonitions. Oh dear, yeah, me too. I don't think we know how to tune into the other senses, and some naturally do. Exactly, because I think we all can do it, but I think some of us have it like more naturally. It's like, for example, let's say you're a great singer, okay? You're naturally gifted singer. You sing like the gods, But, there are people who make it into the music industry or whatever, art industry, entertainment industry, and some people that are hugely talented and they don't make it, They are low key, they never, but that's because they are shy, because, maybe they were born in the wrong country, and maybe they have problems communicating it, or I would say, they're very shy, or they are very conflicted, so they have this huge talent, like singing, but they're never gonna make it because they don't have maybe they're too shy to go on stage or to actually go for an audience, or they are too shy to actually, record something and just spread it out to the public. I don't know. Or people who have lots of other, problems and conflicts, and they can't really develop their talents, there are lots of people who are very talented, but they are for many causes, for many other causes, they cannot reach the level, the potential level that they would do otherwise, But some people, for them, it's like I don't know why. It's just easier because they get on with people, because they are naturally sociable. They're very sociable. They are good making contacts, networking, whatever, you know. So they make it, you know, because so these both pairs, this you have these two people who are hugely talented, but one makes it and one doesn't make it. Okay, so to speak. This is just a broad example. Okay, so yeah, uh, you know, I actually have done the tarot for 10 years now because I have, you know, it came naturally to me. It wasn't like, oh God, you know, let me think, what can I do to amuse myself or and to make a buck? Oh yeah, I'm going to do tarot. No, it wasn't like that. I have always had the talent, not specifically for tarot. That came later. Tarot is just a tool, you know. Um, when you have this gift, this like sixth sense or whatever, you know, it's like you have it since you are born, and you realize, and you either when you're you realize you have it, and then you either later in your life you either develop it or you don't, you know, and there can be many variables, many causes for doing it or not doing it. Okay. Is there someone there? Sorry, I thought there was someone at my door. So yeah, you know, uh, as with every talent, uh, you know, I did the tarot thing, and because it came easily for me, it was like a natural thing to do, you know. Um, I started getting clients, and you know, I discovered that I was actually good, you know, communicating one on one with my clients and doing readings and really getting in the zone and seeing things that I swear to you guys, I don't know, some things that I have known from the readings that came out to me, and I was like dumbfounded. I was like surprised, and the client also was really surprised. And then, you know, with the years, as the years went by, you just cultivate it because I like it, because I'm good at it. You know, I have good feedback. So yeah, now it's like a profession, you know. Um, and yeah, so it is like that. You have to cultivate it, you know, and it has to come quite easily for you. I mean, because if you have a talent and it's not easy, as I mean, if you don't enjoy it as much, or if it's just too much of a bother and you have too many problems, maybe yeah. I mean, I believe that one shouldn't just, you know, shouldn't waste time in this life, you know. um, it's like now now that I am a certain age, you know, I'm in my 40s. I am, like I said, from Nikki's generation. So I have lived the half of my life. God, you know, God, if God permits it, you know, and, you know, I'm in the half of my life, so to speak. So I have accumulated just a little bit of wisdom, of, you know, life experience and whatnot. And yeah, yeah. So let's see what the people are saying. So 8 people watching, that's good. You actually are listening to me. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I really do. I really do. Essex says it will be great to hold a live to talk and show how people can turn into the spiritual side. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Um, yeah, that's interesting. So ACW say tarot. Martin said talk about the story of my life, and Essex says talk and show people how people can turn into the spiritual side. That would be great because I love that side, because you know it's my one of my natural sides, the occult, the spiritual, the mystical. Okay, it just comes like as easy as Sunday morning, yeah. So, but yeah, I need to know that there is a minimum audience that will want to hear me waffling hours on end, you know. So yeah, and so yeah, thank you. So those 3 ideas are nice. If you guys are watching, like 7 people watching now, if you, like I said, I'm ending the Nicola Bulli discussion. Like I'm not like saying I'm not ever going to talk about her again. I will keep talking about her if something new happens, if I get a new insight or new equipment to do a better things with the material I have. But because I have now from this kind of life, this is, this is the conclusion. It should have been open verdict. It hasn't been, and I have said all I think about this case in the previous lives. So, I'm officially concluding my Nicola Bulli, like ongoing investigation, so to speak. I'm going to, you have to follow spirit. You have to follow your heart, what your instincts are telling you. It's like, for me, it was okay, Gritty. Now that's it. Um, you've reached a conclusion. You have all the information that you need to reach a conclusion that is it is satisfactory to you. So that's it. Because it has to be satisfactory to me. I can't do I can't force myself, like some people do. They force themselves to talk about the same topic over and over and over again forever and ever. I could never do that because I would die of boredom, and I do not like getting bored, So the thing is if you guys are getting bored with me, that's the big question now. So what am I going to do? So far you guys have given me 3 ideas that are quite good, interesting. Well, I mean, if you guys are there, like 9 people watching, if you guys are there and want me, Gritty Astro, to keep talking about other things than Nikki Bully, tell me in chat. What would you like me to waffle about? What would you like me to investigate? And if I like the topic you suggest, I will pick it and I will talk about it, okay? Martin says, your great grandmother was a classic wise woman. Yes, she was. Um, she was like archetypes, the word archetypes. She was the archetype, yes, of the wise woman, of the, have you seen Avatar? Because I have kids, they have seen Avatar, but not the movies, the actual anime, which is excellent, I think it was a series, wasn't it? Like a TV show, like a show, anime show, Avatar, and it's wonderful. It's really great. Another one I would suggest you watch, unless you don't like watching like anime cartoons, okay? But Avatar is really, really great. She strikes me, my great grandmother. There's a character in the Avatar universe. If you guys are kind of like nerdy, like me, Avatar, anime, there's the character that is tough, like this blind little girl, but she's really powerful with the earth element. And then when Avatar ended, there was another series that is called The Legend of Korra, and there the old version of Toph, the blind girl, now it's a blind old woman, and she is really wise, and she really teaches Korra, how to become. I think it was the next Avatar or something. My kids love those series, and they were amazing. The stories, they are really, I think, great quality. And so yeah, turn tune. Oh, another thing that I like talking about is like US Exposed. You remind me of turn tune. I don't know what you said, but you remind me of Timothy Leary. You remember? Martin will know about this one. Timothy Leary, like what was his motto? Turn on, tune in, and drop out. Oh, that's a classic. I love. Also, that I don't love Timothy Leary, but I like that kind of stuff. I like expanding. The idea of expanding your mind through psychedelics. to really access other information. And your Essex Boy said turn tune, but nothing to do with it. But it just reminded me of another thing, another topic that I like talking about is psychedelics, or stories about psychedelics, or psychonauts. You know, people who like seeking new information and new expanding their consciousness wherever through psychedelics. Also like the history of psychedelics. I mean, I love psychedelic music, um, as Martin knows, huge fan of psychedelic music. And you know, but there is a dark side to um, the psychedelic history. You know, uh, the 60s. You know, I love talking about the 60s and the 70s, because even though there were like these huge time periods where like humanity changed, you know, ideals changed, you know, also there was, you know, it was like all, you know, hippie love, peace, and that what Timothy Leary said, you know, um, turn on, tune in, drop out. But all that movement had a really dark side to it, you know, really dark. It was a really dark period of time as well. It wasn't all just hippy dippy, and I find it fascinating. You know, I love reading about it. I love watching documentaries, podcasts, whatever. I love the dark side of the 60s as well. You know, they're very interesting. So, what do you think? Would you like to, you know, to talk about, you know, the dark side of the 60s and the uh, you know, love is the answer, hippie movement, dark side, you know? Would you like me to talk about that? The dark side of the 60s and 70s as well, you know? Um, there are lots of conspiracy theories there as well. I would love to talk, for example, about the Charles Manson, Manson family, which is that's one of the really, really dark sides of the 60s, you know, among many others. And that's interesting. So let's see. Chicago. What? Oh, Deborah says, "I'm interested in whatever you say, Gritty." Oh, you're such a sweetheart, Deborah. I mean, you're really sweet. Thank you. Really, thank you. She says, "Please don't stop the channel. I would be great to." Martin says, and the Earth Goddess preceded the paternal gods in history. Oh, that's kind of, yeah, man. Just, you know, that's interesting. You know, I like talking about the stuff as well. About, you know, just, they like to say pagan. I don't consider it pagan. I think it's just part of human history, you know, and the archetypes and the psychology, also religion, mysticism, obviously because of what I do, you know, and the interests I have in my life, which, you know, I delve a lot into the occult. I'm not a satanic worshiper or whatever. I'm not that. Quite, you know, I would be the opposite. Actually, I am, you know, a free-form Christian, you know, and that's a whole nother story, you know, whole nother story. But I'm not the kind of Christian who is, you know, always, you know, like going on about religion. I'm not like that. But if you like to talk about religion, I also like to talk about religion, you know, because it's all about the mystical, it's all about the spiritual side, the occult, the weird side of humanity, you know, the sixth sense, the esoteric. I love the esoteric, okay? And so Martin said, and the earth goddess preceded the paternal gods in history. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, remember, Martin, you said you're a history buff. So, yeah, that would be great, you know? Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, and, you know, yeah, there are strong feminine archetypes. My great grandmother was a strong feminine archetype. She was the wise woman. Yeah, she was. and the magical woman. Okay, she definitely have like paranormal or whatever powers or whatever gifts. It isn't a gift. Yes, it is a gift, Jason. Sorry, I didn't mean to bash Jason Rothwell. Actually, I don't think he really had anything to do with it. Not really. I really don't. But that's because, even though he's a little bit shady, um, I don't. He isn't as shady as people closer to Nicola. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. But I don't mean to bash anyone. I'm just having fun. Just being. I love ironic. I'm kind of ironic humor, dark humor. But I don't like to be like nasty. I don't like to be nasty. But sometimes I might be nasty. Because I am hot blooded. But I will try not to be. So Martin says, I always believe the other people's experience. I always believe other people's experience, but will only believe my own senses. Yeah, exactly, Martin. In the end, in this life, 3D life, you just have to believe your own senses and experiences at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, it's your life, it's your destiny, it's your path, your life is yours, so yeah, I do the same. I sometimes I do believe people, sometimes I don't believe people, but that's because I have this kind of like instinct for people, but yeah, I only rely on my own experience. Everything that I talk to you about, when I'm giving you opinions on tarot or spirituality or anything, it's just my opinion, it's just my experience, okay? Uh, it's the only thing, it's the more honest thing. It's just, I can only go by my experience, okay? And my five senses, yeah, or my six senses. It would mean for me, my six senses, okay? ACW says, I really believe you have much to give on the tarot front. An interpretation of a deck would be great. Yep, that would be nice if you guys would like me to talk about it, to make lives, some live. I mean, no, I don't like to make lives just about one subject. It would be lives about many subjects, okay? Otherwise, I just get bored, I like diversity, I don't like to always go on and on and on about the same thing, it's just not enriching enough. And Martin says, great education. I was in the folk. Oh, bring your talents, tarot deck. Yeah, my talents. Thank you, ACW, for your comments. Lisa French says, we're watching. Oh, now there's 10 people watching. Yay. Hello, 10. Will I reach the 12 tribes of Gritty Astro? Like, when there's 12 people. I like to see it as the 12 tribes of Gritty. Yeah, so, oh, ACW, she's a music graduate. Oh, that's great. ACW, what kind of music do you like? What kind of music do you play? I would love I would love to know about that. To enrich the conversation, because it's about you guys as well, obviously, it's about your interactions, your input. Otherwise, just me, just waffling to the void, right? So tarot. Lisa French says, research Tavistock Institute and song lyrics of the Vatican-owned pop artists Pink Floyd and Madonna. What? Really? What? I mean, but Pink Floyd is one of my favorite bands. Why do you say like Lisa French? I mean, no offense. I mean, I'm open to. I mean, I don't get offended when people say things that I don't understand or I don't necessarily agree with. So but it's all right. I mean, tell me why Pink Floyd is one of the is property of the Vatican. I mean, can you explain me that? I really will love to see your input. I mean, I actually like a good conspiracy theory, and I don't say this in a negative way. I'm quite a bit of a conspiracy theorist, right? I talked about Nikola, and there are many conspiracy theories that make sense to me. I actually like conspiracy theories, but not all conspiracy theories, just the ones that make sense to me, right? So, Lizzo, what do you mean that Pink Floyd and Madonna are Vatican-owned pop artists? What? I would love you to elaborate on that. It's really, really like interesting in a kind of like surrealistic way. Yeah, Martin says, turn on, tune in, drop out. The Merry Pranksters. Oh, yeah, the Merry Pranksters. Were those the guys who went on a bus? I mean, is this chat actually, because I'm seeing things like delayed. Well, that may be because I'm very far away from Europe and the US or whatever, because I'm in South America. Maybe it's that, the connection. Yeah, the Merry Pranksters. Weren't those the ones who were in a bus, Martin? So 9 people watching. It's like, it's steady. And I've been waffling about for nearly 2 hours now. So that's nice. Thank you, people. You're really great. I prefer LSD. ACW says LSD. I prefer psilocybin. I never did shrooms. ACW. Well, correction. I did once, but just a tiny bit. And I mean, I don't think I took too little. I think so. I was always kind of like. I've always wanted to have the shroom experience, ACW, but I never did. I think the shroom experience and the LSD experience are things that you have to have when you are actually ready to do it. It's like, because it's like a sacred experience. So you don't need to do it. You shouldn't do it just because. But for me, I mean, it's my opinion. You should do it because, especially with the psilocybin and the natural products, like ayahuasca. For me, they are sacred plants. Maybe it's my great grandmother thing, because I have her blood, and we honor nature. So yeah, it's like, I never actually I never had a shroom trip. I never tripped on shrooms. I have read about it, especially Terence McKenna. He has, explained very well his trips. It's fascinating, if you are into that, if you like investigating the frontiers of the mind and whatnot. Essex says, do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Yeah, I hear ya. I mean, life, yeah, I mean, it's better to be strong and have endurance. No life is easy. I don't think we have any one of us really have an easy life, because, I mean, for some people life is easier, but I think we all have our struggles, and life itself, it's kind of a struggle. We all have struggles. It doesn't matter, I think, if you're poor or rich, but yeah, of course, some people have it easier, definitely. But having reached this point in my life, I realized that we all, life ain't easy for anyone. Okay, we all have struggles. We all need to, and yes, we need to cultivate strength and endurance, because those are virtues, that make our lives better, right? Deborah says, the occult, tarot, supernatural, spirit things, anything. Yeah, so Debbie, you like that. Okay, occult, tarot, supernatural. Okay, I love that too. So, where it's nice that you guys are kind of like interested in that thing, so I could, the next lives, I could talk about those things. Um, mm, mm, mm. Essex says, a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Well, yeah. You know, if you question things, you always are going to have more the possibility of acquiring wisdom, because wisdom doesn't come just from being, has nothing to do with intelligence. Wisdom is about being wise, you know, having a wise attitude to life, you know, and it's about searching for answers, it's about reflecting on life, it's about taking your time to think for yourself, taking your time to reflect on things, to think before you act. You know, it takes time, you know, to acquire a certain minimal degree of wisdom, you know. But to have wisdom, to acquire wisdom, you need to have the right attitude. If you do not have the right attitude, you're never going to reach wisdom. You're never going to reach any wisdom at all, you know. And wisdom also comes from what I have experienced, guys. Remember, always talk about what I have experienced, or what I think personally, okay? Um, for me, wisdom uh, first comes from humility. You actually have to, how do you say it in English? You have to be, yeah, you have to have humility. Otherwise, wisdom won't come to you. Okay, it has nothing to do with intelligence, as we know intelligence, like as we quantify intelligence. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, I have known people from the countryside who are very simple people, hardworking, like working class, you know, they work in the countryside, and they're not rich, they're, you know, quite poor, but they're wise, you know. So why is that? Because that has nothing to do with your education. It has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has nothing to do with social status. Wisdom has nothing to do with all those worldly things. It has to do with the right attitude, that is of seeking. You have to have a seeking spirit, a seeking mind. It's like you like seeking answers. You don't believe the official narrative of anything, and by anything I mean religion, politics, everything. Everything you need to see for yourself, right? You need to experience it for yourself. You just can't go on living life just following what other people are saying. You need to follow your own wisdom to be wise, right? It's like, you know, in tarot, like, you know, so some people told me about they would like to talk about tarot. Oh, come on, get off. Um, you know, in tarot, you know, the major arcana is like the major cards in the tarot, that they are the cards that speak about the big things, the big themes in life, the big archetypes in life, you know, like life, death, love, wisdom, whatever, you know. So wisdom, the wisdom card in tarot is the hermit card. Um, and if you look for the card on Google, you look for the tarot, the hermit, you will find, and you have two wise people there. You have the hermit and you have the high priestess. You also have the hierophant, but I'm going to talk now a little bit about the the um, the hermit card. It's the ninth card. It's the number 9 card, and it's wisdom. He represents wisdom. And if you look at the card, you know, he is old. He's not young, and he's on the top of a mountain, and he has a light in his hand. You know, and he has like a walking stick, and that is what is the, is the it represents a wisdom acquired with age, because you cannot acquire wisdom just overnight. It doesn't work like that. You can only acquire wisdom after years and years of consciously walking the path, the spiritual path, the wisdom path, whatever you want to call it. Wisdom is just not given. You have to actually earn it, and you have to actually have the right attitude. It's not really complicated, you just have to have humility. That is, if you're one of those people who think that they know it all and they have all the answers, then you're not going to be wise. And if you're not committed to wisdom, that is, if you just don't very much care about it, you probably won't reach it because you're not looking for it. And the last one ties up with this, with the second one that I just said. You actually need to seek wisdom. Wisdom is seeked. You need to seek it. You need to search for it. You need to look for it in order to acquire wisdom in your life. Okay. And that is why the wise man, the archetype of the wise man slash woman, it's the hermit, because wisdom also is acquired most of the time alone, when you're alone with your higher self, with God, with spirit, with whatever you want to call it. And it's acquired in solitary. It's an alone thing, because it's about personal experience, right? And personal reflection on life. So I have 7 people watching. I can't believe I'm philosophizing here and you're still watching. I mean, thank you guys. You really are something. And Essex says, Martin says, love the trippy hippie era, but I am biased. The music was amazing in that era. Yeah, I love it too. I like that music. My most favorite music is from that era, even though I'm not from that generation. I'm from Nikki Bullis' generation. I'm in my 40s, but I was exposed to that music early on, since I was born, by my father. Okay, because he is from that generation, and so I love that music as well. I love that era of music. I love the 60s. I also love the 50s. I love the 70s music. I like 80s and 90s music. I love other genres. It's not like I'm just rock and roll and pop, and folk. I like other genres. I like classical music. I like music from South America, like tropical dancing music, like cumbia. I just love many, many, many kinds of musics. But yeah, my heart, it's with that 60s, because I was exposed since childhood to that music. So it really, made a mark in my heart, so to speak. But the 60s has a really, really dark side to it. Okay, so that would be interesting to talk about, I think. Essex says, Essex says, a fat belly cannot believe that such a thing as hunger exists. Well, that's really interesting. That's philosophy. Okay, here we are delving in philosophy that is reflecting on our reality and what life is all about. That's philosophy. Is the big questions, it's the big, reflections of life. By the way, Martin, Reflections of My Life is a great song. I'm sure you know it. But yeah, let's comment on that. So 7 people watching now. Oh, it's gone down, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality. ACW says, Manson, yes, still prefer tarot deck. Okay, ACW, noted. But remember, if I continue with this channel, I'm not going to just talk about one subject, one topic. I'm going to talk about many topics, okay? So tarot, definitely, I like it. And but you like Manson, the Manson family. Yes, the dark side of the 60s. Uh, Tell me what you think, guys, about the dark side of the 60s. If you want me to talk about that, let me see. I'm going to go back to your line, Essex boys. I love your lines, your quotes. I'm going to see what people are up to. Sorry, old Bruce Lee quotes, very inspiring. Bruce Lee, oh yeah, I love martial arts, actually, Essex Boys. Actually, I'm a fan of the series IP Man. Oh dear. That's also, I love wuxia movies, all that. So we could talk about that. What do you think, guys? Like, it's like about yeah, it's about wisdom as well, isn't it? IP Man is the series, great series with Danny. Oh, what's his name? Jesus, Danny Sheng, is it? I love that series, and I love many movies, like Chinese movies about oh, I will just, I'm just reading you guys, so I'm going to concentrate in reading you guys. ACW says, I'm with you, Gritty. My grandmother was spiritual and staunch Greek Orthodox. Wow, yeah, I mean, my great grandmother, my great grandmother, the witch, so to speak, quote unquote witch, she was like, hardcore Catholic, she would go every Sunday to church, all covered in black, like the old time women, Catholic women who were, they go all in black because she was a widow, and with a black veil over her face, every Sunday religiously, So she was a very, very, very hardcore Catholic. And yet, she was a wise woman, like Martin says. She was a witch doctor, and not doctor, just a witch as well, She had powers. So it's very interesting, It's like we human beings, we're not just black and white, we have many, many colors. And classical. Deborah says, just be yourself, Gritty. You're amazing. Whatever you decide to talk about, it will be great. Thank you, Deborah. You're wonderful. You're another one of my great encouragers. You give me so much encouragement, and I thank you for that. ACW says, Gritty, softer than LSD. Me too. You mean mushrooms? Yeah, I did LSD a couple times, and it was, wow, really good. It was really psychedelic. That was interesting. It was a long time ago. It says, do it in good company always. Oh yes, yes, yes. When you trip, you have to be one. Yes, with good company, or if you are alone, you have to be strong-minded. That is, if you get a bad trip and if you panic, you have to have the common sense and the stamina and the gravitas just to pull yourself back from the bad trip. Yeah, it's very important, but it's always better if you're doing LSD and all those more stronger things. You need to be with someone who is first, and someone who knows, who is a strong person as well, and someone also who will not leave you alone and who will guide you, who will be a good friend. And also you don't do drugs if you're in a bad state of mind. Okay, like for example, everything has a learning curve, of course. When you are a psychonaut, you sometimes you learn. Of course you learn from it, from your trip. Sometimes you have in the beginning you may have some bad trips, and that's fine. And maybe you decide, no, this is not for me, and that's fine. But maybe you are such a seeker that you do it, you keep on it, throughout the years. Of course, always in moderation. And but you need to be strong-minded. You can't panic easily. you have to have, a good sense of, you have to be sensible, okay? Otherwise, you may have a really bad trip, and that's not good. But, we all learn from that. I think ACW says perception and openness. Yeah. And she says, I think Crowley called it the Aeon. That's true about wisdom, says ACW. ACW says a fat belly can also be undernourished. True. Yay, yay, yay. That's a nice point, ACW. In the philosophy chamber of this uh, live. Martin says the Manson episode was sick, complete distortion of truth and reality. Yeah, and in many ways, this distortion because there are many views on the case, many views. There are people who actually have benefited economically, financially from this, from that case. So yeah, there are half truths as well. I mean, there are lots of really, really weird things in that case, Martin. And yeah, distortion of truth and reality. I mean, those people were actually, I think, the way I would describe it is that they were just taken by the evil, because we all have evil in ourselves, but most of us, have the wisdom, and to say no, I don't want to be evil, but these people just let themselves be evil. So yeah, they just lost themselves. When you do evil, you just don't, I mean, you just it's not just evil that you do, you're also destroying yourself. That's another thing that I have gleaned throughout the years. Whenever you try to inflict willful pain on others, like willful evil on others, is destroying you as well. You're self-destroying, okay? So it's not a win situation. It's not a lose-win situation. It's a lose-lose situation. Essex Boy says, "Oh my God, IP Man is the best." You and I have very much things in common, Essex Boy. So you like IP Man too? I see you're a man of. How is the meme? I see you're a man of wisdom or science as well. How was the meme with this guy? Oh, it's a meme. I love memes as well. So I see you and I are, man's people. You and I, we are people of good taste, Essex boys. Because we love IP Man. Yes. Well, I mean, it's really, I love IP Man. I'm really a fan of the saga. Oh dear. It's really good. I mean, it has also it's very good because it really shows you. It really has so much in it. Has good stuff in it that good lessons for life. So it's a good message. IP Man has a good message for your life. Okay, and also it has wonderful, wonderful. Martial arts, if you love martial arts, Donnie Yen, yep, Donnie Yen, that's the one, the actor who plays IP Man in the saga, yep, and I've seen him in other wuxia movies, and it's so great. I love those movies. I mean, it's not like I'm always watching that kind of movie, but it's a genre that I love as well, and I have learned a lot from IP Man, so I hold his story in high regard. If you want to seek wisdom, IP Man has really good life lessons and pointers. Yeah, I really truly believe that. Deborah says the 60s were dark. Absolutely, yes, Debbie, exactly. Even though I didn't live the 60s because I was born in the 70s. I'm a X generation, Generation X, and so I didn't live the 60s, but my parents did. Okay, and I'm fascinated by the 60s because it's wonderful because of the music and the creativity and the the human changes that happen, but also it's very very dark as well. 60s and 70s alike. Yeah. So Martin says any mind opening drug must be used when in a good, strong frame of mind. Oh, yes, Martin. Yes. Yes. You need to be in the right frame of mind because for me now it's a sacred plant. For example, cannabis. In my country, cannabis is legal. That is why we are regarded as a progressive country. Um, Cannabis is legal here, so you can cultivate, you can grow your plants. You have a maximum, yes, but and you need to have like it's regulated. It's like it's legal, but it's regulated. Cannabis is here, and you need to register yourself with the government, whatever, with the branch of the government. Um, because you need to be registered because the government, although they legalized it, yeah, yeah. Woo, like Bob Marley would say, legalize it, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean it's legal, but it's regulated, so you have to be registered, and because there, I mean, some people have gone to jail now because instead of complying with the law, with the regulations, and just having free weed, they turned it into a financial operation, like into like you know for intent, with intent. They started growing plants with intent of selling and distributing. So just some people, not many, but some, just tiny fraction of people have been processed and gone to jail because of it. That is why it is government regulated, and I think they are right to do so. But as far as you are follow the regulations, in this country you can grow your own cannabis. You have a limit of plants, of course, and you buy it in pharmacies, guys. You buy it in pharmacies, yeah. Um, so that's great if you're a psychonaut like myself. I consider cannabis. I also could talk about cannabis if you guys tell me in chat if you would like me to talk about legal cannabis, and all things mind opening, um, Lisa French says 420 if you got them puff pass. Oh yeah, I mean if any of you is puffing now, do it freely. I don't mind. It's not. I mean, I don't tend to puff when I am doing a live. I could, but it's just. I mean, it's just not something that I have because for me it's a sacred plant. So I take the plant at certain times, but I have top-notch cannabis, I have top-notch cannabis, and it's legal in my country. So yay for me, yay, and yay for all the 420s, right? Martin agree about alcohol. Martin says, I prefer cannabis to be legal than alcohol. Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't think alcohol should be illegal because everything in moderation, right? I mean, it's not like, I mean, there are lots of alcoholics. That's true. That's very true, Martin. But, I don't think alcohol, I wouldn't abide in, for example, red wine being prohibited. Oh, no, 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 no. Here in South America, we love our red wine. Red, red wine. And so because, we are Latins, we are Latinos, so we love red wine and we also love beer. And some other people love whiskey. I don't like whiskey, for example. I don't like drinking much alcohol, but I do in the weekends, I do enjoy one or two delicious glasses of red wine. Okay. Sorry about this. I need to pause a little bit. I don't know how you do this. I'm going to pause the live for a minute because I'm receiving an important call. Okay, bear with me. Decline. Just bear with me. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's the thing about this phone. You know, it's not. It's very limited. So I'm back, guys. There's still people there. I had to take a call, and I also had to have a wee because I'm a girl, so us girls need to have smaller bladders. So I've been going for over 2 hours. let's see if I can. I'm going to reload my page to see if I'm actually online again. uh, am I online? Yeah, I'm live. um, so yeah, I had to take a wee. uh, Welcome to live chat, remember, so hello back. Hello back. uh, yeah, so I didn't know about this feature. Maybe it's because you because YouTube releases stuff to you like gradually. So because I'm a new YouTuber, right? It's just a word, right? Because I'm new to this, it's like YouTube just tests you to see if you're a good girl or not, and if you are a good girl, it starts releasing new features on your lives. And for example, now I have the pause button, so I can pause the live and then resume it just seamlessly, right? So that's great, guys. So thank you for bearing with me. Tonight's a miserable night here, like cold, windy, wintry, and I'm going to go until I don't want to go anymore. Okay, guys. So tell me if you're still there, if you like me waffling for hours on end. Uh, I'm just testing. I'm testing my audience. I'm testing my channel because it is in my personality that if I do something, it has to be right, it has to be good, I have to be myself, I have to be interesting in what I'm talking about. I don't like, I get bored if I just talk about one thing all the time. It's not worthwhile for me. So it has to be varied, it has to be versatile, dynamic, and also I need you guys as an audience. Otherwise, I'm just, like I said, I'm waffling to the void, and I don't need that. Okay. So I'm looking for a nice incense because I love incense, you guys. Um, it's funny, the lives, For me, it's like a brand new thing. I know it might sound stupid because there are so many YouTubers like doing lives, like since long time ago, right? But for me, this is new. Like I said to some of you guys, it's like a newfound passion for me. I never realized that I would actually enjoy waffling to you guys, but it has to be, so like I was saying, it has to be done right, as in I have to have a minimum audience, otherwise just it has no purpose, so I won't do it. If I do something, it has to have a purpose, so I have to have an audience. I need to talk about things I like talking about. I like variety, and yeah, and if that keeps on, then great, I will keep on, right? So uh, Unity calling. Hello, Unity. Oh, yes. I love Unity's lines. You are a great energy to this live, Unity. He says, Gritty, we newsflash. Yeah, I don't know we. I don't know we. I know I'm really bad with my accents. It's because I'm South American. I'm not British. I'm not North American. So yeah, I'm not Australian. So, but I just love having a laugh, because, like I said before, I don't like things just being all doom and gloom, all serious and deathly, I love a good dark humor. I love, just doing stupid voices and just laughing, I like, I don't like taking things too seriously in life. Otherwise, you become like miserable, right? So ACW says it's all good, Gritty. Well, I'm glad it's all good. So I have 9 people watching. It's like the 9, it's like 9. It's Did you know that nine, the number nine, it's a quite important number in numerology and in tarot? Did you know that? Well, yes, it is. So now I have you nine, sacred people, sacred number nine, and let's see, people. I also love that you guys just chat amongst yourselves in the chat, and that's nice because it's like, I love that. It's like giving a space also to people just to chat and to have, a nice time. That's nice too. Bathroom break. Oh, come on. Yeah, bathroom break. I don't mind saying a we because I mean there's nothing to be ashamed of. And remember, if I come across as maybe rude or um, it, it, it might be like it's just like a difference in language, because English is not my first language, so I don't mean to come off rude. But I am quite, frank in my speech, so don't assume anything with me. I mean, if you have questions, just ask me, because maybe some things I say are lost in translation and could be misinterpreted, and I don't want that, okay? You can ask me. It's always wise to ask for clarification before. It's just a pointer I'm giving you guys, and that I'm giving myself, right? So also you're talking about Martin says, I lived in the 60s. It was the opposite of dark and depressing, and the music was cheerfully uplifting. Have you ever been listening too much Leonard Cohen? Oh, God. Martin, if you're there, that's funny. Yeah, I personally don't like listening to like those kind of crooners like Leonard Cohen. I like some of his music, but I prefer, yeah, the trippy music. Like I love psychedelic music, pop music from the 60s. I like prog rock, folk rock. Yeah, Leonard Cohen is okay, but yeah, I mean, I'm not into that really much, really. So, Martin says, nine hermits. Oh my god. Well, now it's eight, Martin. We just come down to eight. But yeah, we were the nine, the hermits. Oh my god, Martin. You're such a mystical person. Um, you always have this yeah, this wisdom about you, Martin. The nine hermits. Yeah, we were the nine hermits. Nine cool cats. Yep. So yeah, not rude. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, ACW. Tell it as you see it. Yes, that's what that's it is. It's my intention because if I mean, like Oasis say in that song, you need to be yourself. You can't be no one else. Yeah, I'm feeling super song. Yeah, well, it's like I can't be other than I have to be myself. Otherwise, I couldn't do that. This, um, so yeah, if I come off, as too much, yeah, over the top, that's just me. Um, yeah. So 8 people now. Steelers fan. What is Steelers fan? So yeah, the number nine is also quite mystical. Uh, it is the hermit, and it also means the change of cycle. It's all about change. It comes after the seven in occult numerology and mystical tarot and all that. The nine, it's the odd numbers are about change, and the even numbers are all about just it's like the receptive numbers. Okay, The odd numbers like 9, 7 are the numbers of change. And so the 9 means the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one, like a big cycle, okay? Because we have not we have 9, 1 to up to 22 in tarot in the major arcana, but 9 is a big number, okay? It's because after 9 it normally the digits resets to back to 1 again, because you have 9, then you have 10, but 10 is just 1, okay? It's just a higher, yeah, like a higher tire, of the 1, okay? But at the same time it has the same qualities as the 1, but it's like you are in a higher lesson in your life, so to speak, in a higher ring of your path, okay? Yep. So Deborah says, what does number 9 mean in tarot? Yeah, I was talking about that, Debbie. Uh, so in tarot, number 9s are, because there are, as you may know, there are many schools of tarot reading. I follow a certain school, with a certain view. Tarot is just not pictures in cards. You have to look at the numbers because they have a lot of meaning. You also have to look at the symbols of the archetypes of the cards. So the 9, like I said, is it represents uh, the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one, okay? Also represents the hermit, which is the wisdom, right? And that is why he appears old but higher in the mountain, and with the light. The light he has is the light of wisdom, and he's old because in order to acquire wisdom, you have to seek wisdom all your life. It's not just some packaged thing that you get. Uh, it's something that you have to commit your life to, okay? So that's the 9. The hermit is that. It's the wisdom that comes with the years of applying yourself spiritually to a path, okay? Um, mm, mm. So yeah. So like I said, in tarot, in the school, the tarot school that I apply, it's quite multifaceted. I don't follow just one school of tarot. I just learn from many, and then I apply all of those with my own understanding, okay, with my own intuition, with my own mind, okay? So yeah. So you have the odd numbers in tarot are the active, they are action, they are change, okay? Some numbers, odd numbers, for example, the 1 is the start, obviously, and it's the oneness, but for example, it increases. Every odd number is not the same, it hasn't got the same significance. They have different significances, okay? For example, the 3, it's early change, right? If you have a 3 with you, it means that the change that is happening in your life is you're just beginning, or just you're back to square one, so to speak, with 3 or with 1, and so you're just starting, okay? It's the pains. Number 3 represents generally the pains of growth, when you're growing, when you're still young in your path, and then you have the 5, which is conflict, because from conflict you can make things conscious in your life. Through conflict you may learn a lesson, and that's part of wisdom, because in life, not everything is easy, right? Sometimes in life, in our lives, we all had to go through like conflictive things in our lives, in order to learn those lessons as well. So 5, it's change through conflict, okay? For example. And then, for example, then you have 7. 7 is the number of change, is the number of the crossroads, right? When you have to choose. You see, you have different types of change through the odd numbers in tarot, okay? You have 7, it's like the crossroads, and you need to choose a path. You have come so far in your life, and now you have to choose this or that. You need to make a choice in your life, right? It's about really big change as well, the 7, okay? So that is why I love the Pink Floyd song, Chapter 24, which is in the first album by Pink Floyd. And there Syd Barrett chants some of the I Ching, and he's talking about the number 7, and it is about change, okay? Then you have the 9, which is the hermit, the wise man, or the wise person, and that's when you have completed a big cycle of learning and wisdom in your life. And then if you have completed it, if a number 9 comes in a reading, it means that in whatever thing you are talking about from your life, that in whatever thing you're inquiring, it means the 9 that regarding that question, that situation, that particular situation in your life that you're asking about, the 9 is mainly about that situation. It has to end, okay? It has to end because it has been repeated so many times that, the number 9 is telling you that it has to change. It's about to change whether you like it or not, okay? And it's like, like I said, an old cycle is ending and a new cycle it's beginning. And normally we're talking about major life cycles, okay? Because it's a number 9, okay? It's a high number. Deborah says, I dipped into tarot lightly, but have always been more into astrology. It is multifaceted to you. I love astrology. Debbie, I actually do astrology as well. I have learned astrology over the years. I know how to do natal charts, solar returns, lunar returns, all of that. It's astrology. You need to learn many things. It's lots of stuff you need to learn. But if you're really into it, it's easy because you love it, right? So I am into astrology as well, Deborah. So if you like me to talk about astrology, I will gladly talk about astrology as well. It's a fascinating subject for me. It's also the kind of subject that you have to learn through many, many, many years to actually be a little bit good with it, It's a discipline that has lots of information. There are many schools of astrology, and you have very different kinds of schools. You have Eastern, Western, you have traditional, you have modern, and in the middle you have thousands of astrology schools. And like I said, with other things, you just learn from the ones that you are drawn to, and then you adapt it to and you use it with your own mind, okay? You interpret the information with your own wisdom, okay? It's not about parroting what other master or other person has told you. It's about you actually living it, okay? So that way you actually are integrating the astrology, the tarot, or whatever it is that you're studying. You actually integrate it into your own life when you can, when you are able to do it with your own mind, okay, with your own interpretation. Always, of course, always based on the basics, on the basic symbols, that universal symbols that everyone accepts, but then it's all about you, okay? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, astrology, I think astrology can be really interesting if you guys like that. So, for example, I may ask you what is your zodiac sign, and I could explain some things about your sign. Of course, your solar sign is not everything, of course, but it just gives you a little bit of information, because everything it speaks in archetypes. Uh, in tarot, in astrology, in psychology, even everything is about archetypes. In some aspects of some schools of psychology, it's all about archetypes, okay? So we all have our own archetypes that we play out in our own life, okay? All archetypes are universal, but it depends where we are in our life. uh, it depends which archetype we are playing out, okay? They change through life, and some they don't. Some archetypes stay with us all over our lives. Lisa French says astrology is a great topic. Thank you. So if you like that as well, which is part of the occult, is part of the esoteric, is part of the mystical for me, of the spiritual practices, and whatever, I'm very interested in that. If you like me to talk about that, I'll gladly do it because I love it. Yeah. So I have 8 people watching. 8. Now we are 9. Yeah, we are 9. 9. The hermit 9, like Martin said. How did you say it, Martin? 9 hermits. 9. Oh shoot. 9 hermits. Yep, because 9 people are watching me now. So, yay, the 9 hermits. Guys, the 9 is the number of the hermit, of the wise one. So, we are 9 wise ones. So, it will be 9, and me, it will make it 10. But now it's down to 8. It's like 8 also is a great number in numerology, in tarot. 8, it's about empowerment. I always see it as power. For example, just to give you an example, okay, of the symbolism of the number 8. If you go to search for police badges, the symbols from, how you say, the logos for different police departments in the US, or just look for police star. Google it, police star, and it's more than not, it's always an 8-pointed star, okay? And the 8-pointed star, it's about power and authority, okay? Also, it's about order, but I always say my key word for the 8 is empowerment and power, okay? Martin says, Kriti, do you think that you need to be physically in a person's presence to do a proper reading? Well, no, Martin. I have done many, many readings for clients on the phone. I actually have had even people from outside my country, and there's no problem. The thing about tarot, the most important thing, it's 2 things. That the tarot reader is a professional that actually has a true gift, and the second thing is that the client, it's open. When you're doing a reading, if you are on the phone with the client needs to be open, because I always can tell when somebody is closed off and in the defensive. Most of my clients, obviously they come as open, open, because I need to gather information from the reading, but I use their energy, okay? It's like their energy, what they know, either consciously or unconsciously, it's spread, and it shines in the reading, okay? And then I am kind of like the interpreter, is the I am the one that sees the information and relays the information. So in my experience, I cannot speak about other people, but in my experience as a tarot reader, yes, I always, all the time I do clients by phone, but also, in the flesh. Obviously, lots of people like to come here to my office because they like the real in the flesh experience. But yes, it's totally possible, and it really gives great results on the phone, on video chat. Is the thing is that about openness, okay? Because this is energy that we're talking about. Is something that is not quantifiable. You cannot count it. Okay, it's something that it's in another realm. It's beyond this reality. Okay, it's in another like astral plane or whatever. You know, it's a fascinating subject. So, Martin, that was an interesting question. Uh, and Lisa says, Martin, present for a reading, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's just personal. It's a prerogative of the reader, okay, and of the client, of course. Some clients don't want telephone readings or video chat readings; they prefer in person. But some people are truly okay and actually prefer it by phone or by video chat because they don't want to travel and they're just very busy, and they just, or maybe they are introverts, and I actually do understand them, but I am quite an introvert myself. And so, it depends on the person, but the main thing for a successful tarot reading is that the client needs to be open, like open yourself. Don't try to play defensive. Don't try to play don't close off. If you close off, it's like, and it's not about telling me things, it's about being open. It's very difficult to explain, actually. um, so still the nine, still nine, still the wise nine. This is a scream. I mean, this live is a scream. Oh, it is a scream. It really is, because it's so, for me, so surreal. I mean, uh, I never thought I would be chatting with you guys who are on the other side of the world. It's quite surrealistic, but it's fascinating. It's like a door has been opened. It's like fantastic. It's nice to be able to share, and to learn from each other, and to just chat. It's nice because post pandemic, there's lots of like loneliness and disconnect, and also the internet era has brought that this kind of isolation. So I think it's great. The live provides with connection with people. So I mean, it's so nice. I'm loving it. It's a new thing for me. It's like big discovery for me. I'm a babe in this. I'm a baby. I'm not experienced at all, but I'm finding it really, really enchanting and fascinating. So Unity, hello Unity. Do you know where Godoy Cruz is? What is Unity? Is that a question for me? Lisa says, intriguing. Essex Boy says, I think we have a special connection, Gritty. I felt it from the first hearing your voice. Oops, here comes the red face. Oh, God. Uh, oh, thank you, Essex Boys Outlaw. You're a sweetheart as well. You are a true romantic, I think. You say some people you instantly connect, I suppose. Yeah, totally true. I can ascertain to that. There are people who you just connect with, and there's people that you just don't connect with. But when the people you connect with instantly, I mean, that's a miracle. It is. It actually is. It's really, really, it's very enriching, you know. It enriches your soul, your heart. And I think we do need more of this in the world, don't you guys? You know, there's so much isolation, right? And there's so much anger and, you know, uncertainty in the world right now, you know. And you know what there is? There's so much noise now. And yeah, it's like the waters are very, very muddied, you know, and it's all very confusing out there right now in the world. And I like to keep my peace. I like to be peaceful, you know. Uh, that is why, you know, I just follow this spiritual path like for many years now. Um, and it's so enriching in, you know, when you, in this mess of a world, when you actually connect with people on the other side of the world, just chatting, it's a miracle, you know. It's a miracle. It's a good thing, you know. It's wholesome. So yeah, I'm up for that, you know. The world needs more wholesome things and wholesome people and interactions, you know. Gritty, Lisa French says, Gritty, you explained that well and made sense. What, you mean the number 9? Deborah says tarot is a lot like astrology reading. I pick up energy from astrology too. Yeah, actually, the kind of tarot that I do, you know, it's astro tarot. Um, I mean, it's more about tarot, of course. About, you know, a client comes and says, "I need to know this," you know, or sometimes people come and say, "I just need a general reading to see, because you know there are things that I cannot see, and there's like a nagging weird feeling in my life, or I'm stuck, or I'm feeling this and that, and I need like a clarification." So but I also apply a lot of astrology in the tarot, okay. And actually tarot is astrology, but uh, in another carcass, or in another body, so to speak, okay? Because it's about symbolism, it's about the numbers. Also, the cards in the tarot, the cards are related to planets and to zodiac signs. So, yeah, I mean, hello. Yep, totally. But yeah, I mean, I glean a lot from astrology as well. Um, it's like it's another tool for knowing a person, you know, a client, and yourself, of course. I mean, um, it's fascinating to read your natal chart. It's fascinating, you know, the symbolism. I mean, and these are, astrology is a discipline or an art that has been going on for, I would say, millennia. Yeah, so it's not going anywhere any soon, you know. It says, Unity Calling says, Godoy Cruz is a city in the province of Mendoza, Argentina. And why is that interesting? Do you know where Godoy? No, I don't know where Godoy Cruz is, Unity. And what about Godoy Cruz? Why is that important? Why is that interesting? Just tell me in chat, you know, and if I know, but has something happened there? So still strong, the nine wise people, you know. So yeah, I mean, astrology is another great tool for knowing people, for knowing yourself. It's just like a language, you know, like with languages, you know stuff. Like with computer language, you actually build things, you know, and know things, you know, how you build things, you know, you build programs, you build apps, and that's a language, okay, which builds something, okay. Then you have, for example, the language of words, you know, and it's a tool to understand and to communicate. Without language, we couldn't understand the world, we wouldn't understand anything. least of all ourselves, okay? And it's for communication. Without language, we wouldn't be able to communicate with each other. Books wouldn't exist, music wouldn't exist, blah blah blah. So tarot is another language. Music is a language, okay? And astrology is a language, okay? And there are thousands of languages in this world, okay? Um, so language is a tool to understand things, and to build things, and to communicate, okay? It's just a language, but it's a different language from the from the mainstream, so to speak, okay? Because they are occult languages. They are languages that are not in the mainstream society, okay? And if they are, they're really not there properly. It's actually, you need to learn a lot to actually be a tarot reader and astrologer or whatever. It's like being a programmer. You need to actually learn loads of stuff, and you need to have an ability, a natural ability, to carry it through, right? Lisa French says, number 9, no, darling, you explained the tarot reading over phone being the same as in person. Is my reference to explain well? Oh, okay, Lisa French, because my chat, maybe it's because I'm thousands of miles away from you, right? So the chat comes delayed here in my computer. So yep. Sometimes I see a comment from you guys, and actually I'm already talking about something else. Deborah says, I feel we all have a connection with one another from the beginning. Perhaps that is why we are all here. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's about, for me, it's about, it's another word for connection. It's a similarity. There's another word that I love. When you connect with someone with has the same interests and they vibe kind of the same as you. Oh, there's a word that explains it for me perfectly, but now I can't recall it, because remember, my mind is going like a double train or whatever, because I'm talking in English, but I'm thinking in English, but I am also thinking in Spanish, so it can become messy. Yeah, it's about similarity. Affinity, yeah, that's the word, Debbie. Affinity. It's all about affinity for me. It's like, yeah, when you connect with somebody, you have affinity. Oh, I love that word, affinity. When you feel affinity with somebody else, that special connection sparks up. I love that feeling. That energy of affinity. Resonance, yeah, resonance as well. So when you resonate well with someone, yeah, it's the same as affinity, similar. And it's like when you vibe in the same, like what frequency or whatever. Now people always use the word frequency and vibration. And yeah, I mean, I like that word, vibing. I vibe with you guys. Yeah, all good, Lisa French. Yeah. So 7 people watching. Wow, I mean, this has been great. I have been streaming for 3 hours now, and it's like 10:30 in your country. Are you all guys from UK? I would love to. Thank you, ACW. Great stuff. Great, you say. Thank you. So I would like to know, before I go. I mean, where are you? Where are you from, guys? The 7 watching now. It's no more. The 9 is no more, but the 7 watching now. You all from the UK? I'm going to wait for you to answer. So yeah, Unity says, where did you live in the UK, Gritty? I stayed in many places because I'm a very curious person. I wanted to know many places. So, but mainly, my mainstay, I think it was I stayed in Kent, which is beautiful. Where so most of it, it has some rough places, um, but I resided in Kent, near SL. Yes, Essex Boys. So Martin is from UK. Essex Boys is from Essex, United Kingdom, of course. I mean, I expected you to be from Essex because Nikki Bully was from Essex. She was an Essex girl, and I did went to Essex for a visit as well, uh, because I like going to different different like famous areas, but not just the touristy. I don't like the touristy things. I like the cultural things, like Essex, for example. I went to a pub there with friends. Um, it was kind of like, yeah, kind of like one of those Guy Ritchie movies, but nice, okay. And it had a certain charm to it, Essex. I mean, at least the street of Essex I went to. I mean, I didn't go all through Essex, um, but I vibe with Essex because I also, when I was a child, I lived in a place like that, with that kind of like working class, and but with a certain charm to it. And there was a port nearby, the sea. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why. And the attitude is like very laddish and ladette. And I always been kind of like ladette. Is that a word? Ladette? Ladette. Lads and ladettes. Well, a friend told me, that I was kind of like a ladette. And ACW is from UK. Lisa French, Isle of Wight, UK. Oh, another island person. Are you assuming you are a he? Isle of Wight. I think there was someone else who was from Isle of Wight. United says ACW rapport. Yeah, rapport is another word like affinity. When you have rapport with someone, that's nice. It's beautiful when that happens. It's a miracle, I think. Yep. So UK. It's 61 now. What? What? Oh no, you're talking amongst yourselves. Do you guys wear native costume? I mean, I'm not sure if the answers, if the questions are directed at me. Sometimes you guys are just chatting between you, and that's fine. So yeah, I mean, so to answer you, Unity, I've been to many places in England. I resided in Kent. Also, I resided for a bit in Greenwich. I resided in other parts of London. But I went to many places. I also went to the north. I went to Harrogate in North Yorkshire. Oh, Debbie, you live in Wales? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. So yeah, I went to many places in England. I went to Bath, Somerset, because I want to go. To go to Salisbury Hill, because it's a very like esoteric, energetic, like special place there. And then I went to Bath, the village, the town is really magical. Oh my god, it was a trip. Bath was a trip. And yeah, I mean, then I went to the I don't remember the name, where the big old chalk drawings are, in the hills. What's the region called? Yeah, and I've been to the north. I never been to the northwest. where Nikki was, for example. Oh yeah, I've been to Liverpool. Yeah, because of course, being a fan of the Beatles, of course. I mean, if I'm going to go to the UK, of course, I'm going to visit Liverpool. Liverpool. Yeah. So I went to Liverpool, and I went to North Yorkshire, which is absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And I also visited Scotland, a little bit of Scotland. You know, I will, and I visited. Oh yeah, I visited the uh, uh, you know, oh dear, oh, you know, the chalk things. Margate, yeah, Margate, and you know, the cliffs in the south. It's amazing as well. It's an amazing beauty. You know, some places in England are actually like proper beautiful, and that's what I love. You know, I love going to different places, not just the city, but more like the cultural stuff, where the history is, where the cultural stuff is, where the magic is, where the actual like natural beauty is. Yeah, but I've been, you know, I've lived in London, so yeah, I like London as well. um, it has its own charm. Yep. I remember Greenwich Village. It was quite charming, and it's beautiful. Actually, it's a beautiful place because you have, it's very historical, and I'm sure Martin. Oh, Wiltshire and Dorset, chalk art. Yeah, okay, Martin. So I went to Wiltshire and Dorset. I think it's Wiltshire, where the big drawings, like ancient chalk drawings, are. Yeah, I went there too, and it was quite a trip. It was a trip, let me tell you. Unity says I lived 5 miles from Bath. Bath is a trip for me too. It was, I mean, it was, the energy was really trippy and wonderful. It had like, it's like you were in another dimension, or I don't know. It's like, and it wasn't. I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripping. Lisa French says, I prefer a shower than a bath. Oh, that's to Essex boys. Wiltshire, yeah. So Unity Wiltshire. I went there. Yep. So I, like I said, I lived in Kent and Greenwich, like were my main two like places to stay when I resided in England for a bit. And yeah, I'm going to have a yerba mate because I'm parched. I'm really parched. So people, still 7 people, and that's great. I love it. So yeah, so my mainstays, like, you know, my main places to stay were in Kent and in Greenwich, in London, East London, south of the Thames. And you know, Greenwich is beautiful because it's an academic city. You have the University of Greenwich, you have the Cottishart, you have the well, you have the Greenwich timeline. You know, the time, the Greenwich Meridian, is it? You have the Greenwich Observatory, and it's beautiful. I love Greenwich. I really loved it, you know. And also it has a quaint center, you know, town center. You know, there are lots of like artistic people and, you know, university people. So it's very interesting for me. It's like intellectually, you know, how you say, stimulative, how you say, intellectually stimulant. Yeah, so Greenwich is beautiful, and that's the main place I stayed, like a, you know, like a headquarters. I headquartered mainly in Kent and Greenwich. Okay. But from there I went to many places. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had gone to more places in England. If I ever go back, I will go to other places that I didn't go in the first place, because I know there are other beautiful, beautiful, beautiful places to visit. But for me, it was like for me going to England was like a, a spiritual thing. I had to go. I had to know certain things, because it's like it was calling to me. It was always like a calling. It's like, in the back of my mind, always, you need to go to England. You need to visit it. You need to be there. And I went there, and it's like, for me, really, it's my second home, because it just really made an impact in my life. And it was a wish come true, so that's very important when one of your wishes come true. Yeah. Yep. uh Meantime, yeah, meantime, Greenwich Mean Time, the Greenwich of Observatory. Yeah, it's a beauty, and you have that the tunnel. That I remember taking a bike, in summer, and just going through the tunnel, and you go underground, under the River Thames, and you come up on the other side of Greenwich, and it's quite a trip. Actually, it's quite wow. Just it blew my mind, because we don't have things like that here. um, Here we have more like a natural beauties, like the beach, and the some of the forests are beautiful. Here's more of a wild beauty, but there you have like those tunnels are like really, really, really interesting. And I had a great time uh, riding my bike, going through the tunnel, from one part of the river to the other one. Well, of course, I went to Camden Town, all that yada yada yada. Um, you know, I hit many places. I went to Cambridge. I went to Oxford. Uh, I also stayed in Cambridge for a bit in a friend's house. Cambridge is beautiful. It's really magical as well. Yep, yep, Cambridge. Oh yeah, was really beautiful actually. I remember there was this like footpath, in the grass, in the middle of the grass, and then at the end you had this old, uh, like really old church that was almost demolished. It was like a ruin, and I mean obviously it wasn't used anymore, and it was really, really like spooky, fabulous. It was, oh my god, so magical. I mean, you guys have magical places because you have so much history. So much history. And the old architecture is fascinating. So the ruins, I love ruins, especially if they are like spooky, like churches and things like that. Yep. ACW says it's not so nice post Brexit, Gritty. Yeah, I have heard about that from friends and and other forums. Yeah, they say like no, it's not what it used to be. Yeah, um, I'm sure that's I don't know much about English politics, but yeah, some other people have told me, people from there have told me that yeah, post Brexit everything has gone down, like downwards. So yeah, that's a shame, but I'm sure that you know you always can find the magic, if you're looking for it. Yeah. Martin says, I used to rehearse music in a deserted 11th century church. Oh, wow, magical. Yeah. I mean, that would have been, that must have been like, wow, really trippy. Yeah, I love like old churches. Marching, I love. I think it was yesterday. I uploaded a short, and the music I put there was Pink Floyd's Cirrus Minor, the song, and it starts with In a churchyard by a river, blah 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 blah. It's beautiful, and it encapsulates that feeling, you know, when you are in an old place like an old church, like, you know. And this one was in ruins, you know, in Cambridge, and it was just, you know, it was like a, it seemed like there had been like a hamlet there, a little village there, like centuries ago, and now it was all deserted, you know. It was creepy, but like very fascinating. I love that kind of creepy stuff. um yeah, you had a packed itinerary. Yeah, I mean, because I by the grace of some people there, I stayed for a quite a long time, you know, because I really wanted to experience the UK as much as I could, because, yeah, because it was one of my callings to, it was one of my wishes to go there, and not just go there for 2 weeks. I want to go there for like, you know, a year. So I made my dream come true. Yeah. And I have been wanting to go back there with my children, because when I went there for the first time, you know, of course I didn't have family, I didn't have kids, so so now, you know, if I went there, I would love to take my children, because they will love it. I'm sure of it. I mean, I have told them, you know, uh, many of my stories, so uh, they really, you know, they would love to go. um, but yeah, I mean, it's like, it's one of those wishes, you know, one of those dreams that uh, I wish it comes true, but you just have to, you know, it's just a wish, you know. It will either will come true or it will not. But I'm sure that we will go back there, and, you know, and we will have a grand time. Good night, ACW. Yeah, I realize it must be getting on. I mean, it is getting on. I have been streaming for well over 3 hours. Uh, yeah, Essex boys, good night. Take care. You too. Yep, yep. So, yeah, I'm going to finish the chat for today, because, yep, I realize it's 10:45 now in the UK, and it's a Tuesday. So I'm sure that if I go on Thursday or Friday, it will be better. Like, will you guys be able to um, be later, like be online at a later time? Yeah. Um, Good night, guys. ACW and Unity says, "Did you go to Avery or Stonehenge?" Yes, I did. I did not go to Avery. What's Avery? Let me look for it. Avery. Yeah, Avery is Stonehenge, right? I don't know that. So yeah, I have gone to Stonehenge. Yeah, I have visited it because it's a big thing for, like, has a lot of um, I don't know, like vibes, like ancient vibes. It has like this. Oh, it's so fascinating for me, you know. When I went there, I mean, I could feel the energy was really, really strange, you know. It was a different kind of energy. The air was loaded with a different kind of energy, you know. I mean, everything, when you go to an ancient place, that place holds the energy, especially if it has been left alone, you know, to be there. Uh, of course, if you surround it with city, it will lose some of its energy. But like Stonehenge, you know, it's there. You know, it's there in the middle of nowhere, and even though it's a tourist place, it's still there in the middle of nowhere, right? So yes, it holds that really weird vibes, very strange, very somber. You know, I felt like a sober energy, like a sober, you know, like a serious energy, like I don't know how it wasn't like cheerful, right? It was, you know, sober, severe. It was strange, it was fascinating. I love your cyber aura, Gritty. Thank you, Unity. Thank you. You know, yeah, we have that affinity, I love you guys. Yeah, it's been a good one, ACW. Sheila, hello, Sheila. Oh, you just come on. You come on when I'm about to go off. She said, I used to live by Stonehenge. Hi, Gritty. Hi, Sheila. Sheila is another of the faithful ones. Um, yep. Wow, Stonehenge. Yeah. So for me, Stonehenge, because, I have always picked up on energy, like in the air. I mean, from those stones, it was, the energy was serious, like it was used for something serious, for something like very organized, like rituals. And obviously, there were rituals there, I gather. Um, but yeah, I mean, it has that, I imagine, like high priests and things and such, It was like a sacred place. Also, I think it was like a device for measuring the skies, I think, if I'm not incorrect, And so it has like that serious aura about it, and stoic, serious, even somber, but not like evil. But what I picked up was, severe, like severe beauty, right? Martin says Stonehenge is the land of the ancestors. Woodhenge, land of the living. Oh, I would love to know more about that, Martin. Maybe in our next live, we will talk about that. I love that you know lots. It seems like you love your history, Martin, and I would love to talk about that and learn more about that and comment on it. So Stonehenge is the land of the ancestors. Wow, yeah. I mean, it really seemed like a severe kind of beauty, a severe kind of energy. Very, yeah, like like masters, like high priests. People with lots of knowledge dwelt there. Yep. Salisbury Plain, yeah, yeah. Sheila says I lived in Salisbury Plain, where we were when we were in the military. Okay, that's interesting. Um, what is is it the Salisbury Plain is where the Stonehenge is? I'm not a great about geography. I know where I have been, but it's not like I have studied in depth the geography, the history. I just pick up the vibes, and if there's something that I really like about, I learn a lot from it. Yeah, the Salisbury Plain is where the Stonehenge is. Yeah, so it's like this, it's it's like a really, really, that place is out of this world. Okay, literally, it's like entering a new it's another dimension. It's like I went to Salisbury Hill in Bath, in Somerset, and it was literally like I went to another dimension, like I traveled in time, especially when I went to Bath, when I went down to Bath, because like you can see Bath from Salisbury Hill, you see it like beyond and under you, and under your gaze. And then you see all the lights, and the yellow stone, Roman stone, and then you go down there, to Bath, and it's like literally I felt like I was like traveling in time. I felt like I was in the past, like in the Middle Ages or something. It was it was amazing, it was really trippy. Estoy haciendo un vivo. So yeah, it was druidic apparently. Yeah, ACW says druidic. The druids, druids, they were from the Celtic people, right? They were the knowledge masters of the Celts. No, I didn't go to Bristol, Sheila. No, I didn't go. I mean, there were left so many places that I wanted to go, but I couldn't go all, I couldn't visit them all, unfortunately. I didn't have the time. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to go to places that I had already had in my mind, like the magical places. But I'm sure there are so many other magical places in England, really, really old places, um, that I wish to go someday. Sheila says that's my birthplace. It's only 15 minutes from Bath. Oh, is it Bristol? Is it only 15 minutes from Bath? Oh yeah, because Bristol is like under Bath. I mean, to the south, isn't it? To the southwest, isn't it? Um, of course, I have heard of Bristol, but I never been to. Not that I remember. I mean, I might have been, and I don't remember. I have been so many places, and I remember another place that was really magical for me was this pub in the middle of nowhere. I don't remember where. It was in the Midlands, that's for sure. It was in the Midlands, and it was this like old tavern type of pub, and there was like this folky band playing. This like older geezers, playing their guitars and their banjos or whatever, and it was again like traveling in time. It's like it wasn't where am I, it was when am I love those trips when you feel like you're traveling in time, and I felt like like a hobbit, and it was a really really old pub in the middle of the Midlands, and I don't remember the place. I don't actually remember where I was. It was nighttime because we were traveling through many places, and I remember I had like a kidney pie, and of course a nice pint of beer. Oh, delicious! And these like older geezers, were playing live, and it was so magical. It was so wholesome as well. It was very wholesome. Um, my daughter was born in Tidworth. Okay, so now talking amongst yourselves. Um, okay, yep, okay. Um, Martin says ACW, to ACW, yeah. Stone Age, Neolithic, Druids, Iron Age, yeah, okay. So I would love to talk about Druids, about Celtic culture and myths and all of that. I like the Celtic culture, like really holds a place in my heart, because it is another a case of affinity, because I have Basque blood, in my genetics, amongst other kinds of bloods from other ancestors of mine, but I have Basque, and if you search, some years ago, like 20 years ago, it was discovered some scientists, genetic scientists, discovered that Basque DNA had similarities to Celt DNA. So the Celts and the Basques are related from DNA, okay? So they are really, really, really ancient tribes. And yeah, so big part of my ancestry is Basque. So maybe that is why I feel such, and my father, of course, because it's from my father's side, maybe that is why I feel that kind of affinity with England, and with, in general, with the Celtic culture and the Celtic music, the myth, the magic, Sheila says we lived in Needle in Wiltshire back in Salisbury Plain. Yeah, so now six watching now. I mean, I'm quite pretty impressed that I've been going on right well over 3 hours now, and there's still 6 people listening to me, so that's great. So I'm going to bid you farewell, my lovies. No, Sheila, I didn't go to Wales. That's one of the other places that I would love to go to visit. I couldn't make it. No, I just didn't have the time, you know. Um, but yeah, I would love to go. If I ever go back to England, to the UK, I will go to other places. I will return to places that I did go before, because I want to re-experience the same feeling, you know, of traveling in time. But I also want to go to different places. I would love to go to Wales. Yes, I would love to go to Ireland. I never went to Ireland. Never. I just barely went to Scotland. But you know, I went to the north, but I didn't touch on, for example, I didn't go to, I think I went to Leeds. I touched on Leeds, I think. But for example, I didn't go to Durham. I wanted to go to Durham because of the church, you know, and uh, it's like a university town. I have a friend there who studied there in Durham. You know, it's fascinating. You know, it's a very old academic city. Yeah, so Durham. I would have loved to go to Durham, but I didn't. Actually, my friend who had studied in Durham is the one that lives in Cambridge and showed me Cambridge around. A very very beautiful, very magical place. Cambridge is very beautiful. But yeah, I would love to visit. Yeah, Ireland, Wales, other places. I haven't visited so much the beach, the shores. You know, I just been to. I think it was just the south of England. You know, like Margate, you know, Brighton, just the south. But I never went, and the east, of course. I went to Hastings. Um, I think Hastings is also on the east, yeah, and yeah, Margate, all that, and but I never went to the west shores. I would love to go to the west side shores of England. Yeah, I would also love to go to Shetland, in Scotland. I would love to visit the Shetland Isles. Yeah, I think it's Shetland Isles, right on the north. I have seen pictures. It's beautiful. I would love to visit there. Yeah, I would love to see the North Sea. You know, I never seen the North Sea. Good day, critic. It has been special, if small. Yep, ACW. Uh, Martin says you will need a year or two to visit all the places you mentioned. Yeah. Well, you know, I stayed there for a bit. You know, I told you. Yeah. But I was, you know, I could go because I was able to visit so many places. I did, you know. Um, yeah, but I was a busy bee. I was a busy bee in England visiting places. Yeah, and still, you know, I couldn't visit. There are many places that I couldn't. I didn't have the time. Good night, Gritzy. Sorry, I missed most of you. I didn't know you were on. That's all right, Sheila. So I'm going off now, but for people who are still watching, every time that I go on a live, I always post a post. I always do a post on the community tab of my channel. So if you're looking at YouTube, or if you have your notifications on, it will be really good. So when I put the post, like I'm going live in da da da, you know, you will be able to catch it. Okay, so I bid you a very good night. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad that even though I'm not talking any further about the Nikki Bully case, unless something else happens or I have some other insight, I'm glad that you still stuck with me for this live. I hope it was really, really nice, and I hope that, you know, it will continue to be so in later in future lives. Okay, guys. So I'm going to write right here. Good night, everyone, and kisses. Yeah, ACW Shetland Isles. I would love to visit Shetland. Oh yes, and many other places. So Everyone. Oh Jesus, I put everyone. Yeah, I don't like making grammar mistakes. Uh, 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 uh. Yeah, bye, Martin. Thank you, Martin, for being here. I really appreciate you, guys. Lisa says, "What a happy show! Thank you. I so enjoyed. I needed this today. Oh, I'm so glad, Lisa. It's great. It's great. It's been also very happy for me. So let's see how it goes on future lives. Okay. So I bid you good night, and I'm going to leave it just for a minute there. So you guys say goodnight to each other if you want to. And I'm going to put the mic off, and I'm going to cut off in about 2 minutes. Okay, guys? So good night, guys. I love you guys. God bless you all. Bye.